goes West Coast, and still a big crowd at Raymond James to see if the Bucs can reach the 10-win plateau again. Good evening, everybody. I'm Mike Patrick. It's great to have you with us. Since these teams are already scheduled to play each other again next weekend in Philadelphia in the first round of the playoffs, the coaches are going to play this one close to the vest. They like to call that vanilla. That's what we're going to get tonight. A big heaping serving of vanilla. No chocolate sauce, no whipped cream, no nuts, no cherry. Just vanilla. I know how much you like vanilla. Here you go.
Mike, I really do like vanilla, but you know, it may be a vanilla game plan tonight, but these teams will play hard. For the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they like Tony Dungy. They want to get him his 10th win. There's a lot of rumors swirling that he may not be here. The players don't want to see that happen. And after all, you can't compare this to a preseason game because preseason rosters have 80 players. They're only dressing 45. So some of the guys that'll play tonight will have to play next week. And one of those guys is Sean King. He's 15-9 as a starter. And having a chance to visit with him this week, he simply said, I just didn't know how hard it was to sit on the bench. Fortunately for him tonight, he doesn't have to worry about that. But Paulo, I know that the Eagles like Andy Reid, and I know that they'll play hard. And I also know that it's going to be very vanilla over there, too.
Well, the Philadelphia Eagles, Joe, have a different philosophy going into this game. They are not taking this game lightly, and they're playing this 16th game as if it's the first game of the year. But the only difference is they're going to be playing an awful lot of backup people. Now, it's not a question whether they want to win or not. They would like to do that. But the primary thing for the Philadelphia Eagles is to get out of this game tonight without any injuries because they have to face this same team again next week.
Thank you, Paul. The Bucs are on one of their patented late-season runs. When we come back, Susie Culver will talk about the architect of that success, the Bucs' Tony Dungy.
Log on to ESPN's Enhanced TV to win a trip to Hawaii and a chance to call a play at the Pro Bowl. To find out more, go to ESPN.com or NFL.com and play now.
Welcome back to Raymond James Stadium, home of the Buccaneers. Before Tony Dungy, this franchise was a disaster, winning only 30% of its games and reaching 10 wins just once in 20 years. With a win tonight, the Bucs would have 4 10-win seasons in just 6 years under Dungy. Rumors abound concerning his future here, and Susie, that takes what have you done for me lately to absurd heights.
It certainly does, Mike. Talking to the Bucs players, it is so evident how much they respect Tony Dungy, how much they want to win for you tonight. So let's get rid of that whole meaningless thing right off the top. How much does this game mean to you guys tonight?
Well, we do want to win. We want to keep our momentum going. We have a chance to get 3 double-digit winning seasons in a row. Our franchise has never done that before, so we definitely want to.
No matter what the circumstances, you remain even keel, but you're only human. How do you deal with the constant rumor of you just haven't done enough?
Well, all you can do is win, and that's what we're trying to do, and hopefully we'll win enough that people will be happy.
Last year at this time, last game, you're fighting it out in Green Bay. What does this game tonight mean for your psyche going up there next week?
Well, we want to play well at home. We want to finish the regular season right and get some momentum going up there. It's going to be a tough place to play. We'll feel much better if we have a good game tonight.
Coach, from our entire crew, deepest sympathies on the passing of your mother.
Well, thank you. Everybody in the NFL has been so supportive, and I really appreciate that.
Good luck tonight. Mike?
Thank you, Susie, and Coach, our condolences as well. It's going to be a very busy night on the sidelines. Susie will have a chance to talk with several players, Pro Bowlers all, about their chances in the playoffs starting next weekend.
ESPN welcomes you to the following presentation of the National Football League.
Back at Raymond James Stadium, Tampa Bay area of Florida, that's David Akers, who made the Pro Bowl this year, 3rd season out of Wisconsin.
Michael, they forgot to tell the people in Tampa that this is a meaningless football game, because if you look at this crowd, it's unbelievable.
Well, Tony Dungy has lost once at home in his career in Tampa Bay. So they came here tonight expecting a winner. That's Frank Murphy. He is deep with Aaron Stecker. The players have described this as 8 quarters of head-to-head football. The first 4 come tonight. The next 4 next week in Philadelphia. And we are underway in Tampa Bay. A low skipping kick. Murphy retreats to the 2. And cut down before he reached the 15-yard line. Brad Johnson has thrown for more than 3,300 yards this year. His rating of 77.5, just about in the middle of the NFL quarterback ratings, has been hampered by the fact that he hasn't had anybody who can really get downfield, but he and Keyshawn Johnson have had a tremendous connection this year.
But he accomplished what the Bucs wanted him to do. They've raised their pass completion percentage from 54.4 to over 60%. That's what they wanted Brad Johnson to do.
Guy is a consummate pro. All he's got is the single setback. He has been a bull the last couple of weeks. Dragged back after he gained about 3. Damon Moore, who saved the Giants game a week ago, made the tackle. This franchise has gone back and forth between Allstott and Warwick Dunn, using them one at a time, using them both. They never have seemed to settle on any system.
Well, they started this year out, Joe. Warwick Dunn was going to be our guy. And then what?
Then all of a sudden, well, he gets hurt in the first game. So now they have to rely on Mike Allstott. A year ago, it was just the opposite.
Warwick on the sideline tonight, wondering whether he'll be part of this franchise next year. Johnson on a little half roll out of the backfield and throws complete to Jameel Cook, the rookie fullback out of Illinois. Bobby Taylor took him down.
Brad Johnson coming out throwing a little bit. You're not going to see him more than a series, maybe 2. What the Bucs would like to do would put together a nice little drive. It'd be like the first part of a preseason game. Get a drive going, get your starters down. I was talking to him earlier in the week. He said, you know, I've had to play from behind. We've had to play from behind all year. That's part of the reason why this offense has been so limited.
And he has paid physically the price for it. 44 sacks and hit so many other times. Johnson trying to throw for the first down. Throws complete. He's got Milton Wynn, the rookie from Washington State, his first catch of the season. Al Harris with the tackle. It's a gain of 36.
Well, let me tell you something. He may only be here for a short period of time, and that's Brad Johnson. But I'm going to tell you right now, Milton Wynn, number 88, look at this throw. It is absolutely perfect to the outside, and Milton Wynn takes it inside the 45-yard line of Philly.
What happens is Mike Caldwell winds up picking Al Harris. The 2 defensive guys can't catch up to him.
Tampa with a first down at the Eagles' 43. Johnson to throw, quick out, and that one's complete to Jaquez Green.
Now, wait a second. Didn't somebody explain to us that this game has no significant meaning? I think we ought to run the football, pound it right in there. I don't think so. I think for the Bucs, it's a regular season game.
Do you know for the 16th week that we've done professional football in the regular season, Joe still believes what they tell him? You know, you really do, Joe. you believe?
I believe this guy's going to the Pro Bowl.
Oh, he is. 106 catches, came into the weekend tied for the league lead. He said that record didn't mean anything to him. He's been banged up and needs the rest. Allstott lowers the shoulder and dives to the 31.
One of the things that is so impressive about the way Mike Allstott runs is he always seems to finish forward. Right after the first hit he takes, you see him take the shot, and then he winds up going forward. He's nifty enough in the hole to be able to make people miss the first time, has terrific hands for a big guy, and once he lowers those big pads, all you get is shoulder pads and thighs to try and bring him down with.
Going to his 5th Pro Bowl, he just runs with a lot of heart. Aaron Stecker comes in at running back, and he'll get it on the draw. Stecker dives to the 26.
Boy, I tell you, this is an ideal drive. I mean, for any game, it's important. And you look at this football game here, they've almost run off 4 minutes of the clock. They've got the ball inside the 30-yard line of Philadelphia. And all they want to come away with 7 points, and they're going to be very, very happy.
All right, big fella, but let's remember now, Mike went with the spoon theory in the beginning, the big bowl of vanilla. The Eagles are about as basic over there as you can get, so I don't think the Bucs want to get their hopes up high that this is what might happen next week.
Allstott, nice little cut. A lot like Jerome Bettis, he's got those nifty feet that allow a guy as big as he is to make those quick little cuts.
You know, the one thing about him, about Allstott, though, if you look at his shoulder pads, as Joe mentioned, and look at his shoulders, watch how square they are with the line of scrimmage. Even when he's making the cuts, Michael, his head is forward. He's ready to make an upfield move, and not a cut move to go to wide, to right or left. It's always straight ahead with him.
After we talked to him the other day, I said, the last couple of weeks, the way you ran over people, it looked like you were back at Purdue doing it in the Big Ten. Blitz coming. Eagles may have been offside. The quick throw to Green. Green is down. They'll rule it incomplete at the 20. No flag.
Well, that was a great adjustment by Jaquez Green. Seeing the blitz, but not catching the ball.
A terrific job by Brad Johnson. Watch this from the right side. Here comes the blitz. He gets it off. Jaquez never really gets control of it. That's really been his problem. I mean, when you got Keyshawn Johnson with 106 catches, you got Jaquez Green with 35. It shouldn't be that imbalanced.
Doug Bryan will come on to try a 41-yard field goal. He was signed when Martin Gramatica pulled a hamstring. Gramatica's still out this week. So the veteran Bryan out of California. There's Gramatica. He's had another fine year.
He's going to work with his brother on how to celebrate.
How to get a haircut.
Or how not to. Officially now it will be a 42-yard attempt. And Bryan is true. And a solid opening drive for the Buccaneers. They come up with 3 and lead the Eagles 3-0. ESPN Sunday Night Football is brought to you by Southwest Airlines, proud sponsor of the NFL, an official airline of Super Bowl 36, by Miller Lite. Grab a Miller Lite, it's Miller time. And by Charles Schwab, expert advice that's objective, uncomplicated, and not driven by commission. That's the Florida Aquarium here in Tampa. Over 10,000 aquatic plants, fish, shark.
I was fishing in there the other day.
You know what
I didn't know there was a fine for that.
You know what their shark's name is? Paul. And I asked him, I said, what's the shark with the really flat face and the funny nose with no hair under his
Oh, excuse me.
He said Paul.
Excuse me. Let's not talk about flat faces and ugliness.
That's Brian Mitchell, one of the greatest ever to return kicks in the National Football League. Has it on the run across the 30 to the 37-yard line. Donovan McNabb will bring out the Eagles offense. He was brilliant in the clutch a week ago against the Giants. If you want to log on tonight, you can help us with this question. Who was the best individual story in the NFL this season? David Boston, Tom Brady, Garrison Hurst, Priest Holmes, or Jimmy Smith? Log on to ESPN.com or NFL.com and vote. Warren
really
Sapp, the emotional leader of this ball club.
That's going to be difficult to vote for those guys. If you think of every individual story on those 5, it's incredible what they've done.
Buckhalter will start at tailback, and he takes it to the 40 and no more. Donovan McNabb, 25 touchdown passes this year. That's a career high. He is rated 9th in the NFL and thrown for nearly 3,300 yards. Won't get many stats tonight. Don't expect to see Donovan for more than a series.
And people have talked about, geez, he really didn't have that good a year. I think he's had an unbelievable year. That goes with his 482 yards rushing.
Buckhalter again, hit behind the line and dumped Nice play by Simeon Rice.
Well, there is a guy, Simeon Rice, that has made a huge difference in this defensive football team. Simeon Rice, they said he couldn't play the run block. Well, take a look at there. He splits. It wasn't actually a double team, but he splits the blocks and makes the tackle. But this guy has really made a difference. Once he learned the defense here, he's made it's just truly a success story with this team.
Put him on that list.
We said we wouldn't see Donovan McNabb for more than a series. That was a short series. Coy Detmer has come on for the Philadelphia Eagles. Under pressure, throws on the run, tipped and incomplete. Brian Kelly got a hand on it.
How about that? Andy Reid makes a decision in 3rd and long to get Donovan McNabb out of the game. He wasn't taking any chances.
That's Simeon Rice down on the field, and he's hurt.
It's the last thing either team wants out of this game.
Here is Simeon Rice on the outside.
Just looks like a shot. Correll Buckhalter
he hits him right in the ribs.
Little shot in the ribs as he tries to help out Ryan Shower.
We were talking about Rice before that play. He actually leads the defensive line in tackles. He's up, and he gets a big hand. And that is from a guy leading the defensive line in tackles who made very few tackles outside of sacks when he played for Arizona.
But when you're exposed and you get hit right in the gut, you go down.
Sean Landeta celebrating his 40th birthday tonight. He's had another brilliant year, averaging 43.6 per kick. In his 17th year in the NFL, remember he played 3 years in the USFL as well, kicking to Carl Williams, and a beauty. Williams driven back to the 11, lost his balance, was down at the 17. A 50-yard kick for the 40-year-old Sean Landeta. 3-0 Bucks, first quarter, back after this. There's Sean King and a quarterback. That means Brad Johnson's night is done. King, a local hero, grew up in the area, and Brad Johnson nearly perfect on the first drive that resulted in a field goal. Jameel Cook and Rabi Abdullah are the running backs for the Buccaneers. King wants the screen. Cook. Nice cut inside his blockers. Got it to the 22. Let's check in with Susie Colbert. She's with Pro Bowler Hugh Douglas.
Well, Hugh, everybody always says about you that your motor's always revving, so how does it feel to be idling tonight?
You know what? It's kind of bad because I'm just sitting here, and it's like, I'm not playing. I feel like Harold Carmichael.
9.5 sacks, one more, it voids the last year of your contract. So when coach says you're sitting, do you head into his office and beg or what?
Well, you know what, I did do that, but he said, hey, he had his reasons, and I said, well, coach, I'm not going to try to force the issue on this. I know you're doing it for a good reason, but it's just kind of hard just to sit here.
Bears held opponents to 203 points this year. Right now, you guys are at 198. How much a point of pride to have that record for the season?
You know what, that would mean a lot, but right now, we're just trying to get healthy because we know we got to see these guys next week, so we're just kind of playing it safe.
It's no secret you guys are small up front. They've started to really get their running game going. So what do you need to work on this week?
Getting off blocks, most definitely, and getting after them and playing in their backfield.
Best of luck.
Hey, thanks a lot,
Mike.
Susie, thanks very much. Aaron Stecker comes in as the 3rd down back. King under pressure.
Wow.
And they got him, and now a marker goes down.
That's going to be face mask. That's going to be a face mask by Darren Walker, number 97. He's got him with one hand. Darwin Walker. Ooh.
And it's a 15-yard variety.
I don't know.
Does he turn his head? If you turn his head around, that is 15.
You're probably looking at who's holding him.
Look at 97, Darwin Walker. Here it comes. No, here he grabs his face. No, he turns him all the way around. That's 15.
Good call. Pulls it right down. Doesn't let go. Twists it. Absolutely. Good call.
So a break for the Buccaneers, and they lose a sack.
That's the only thing that really determines that. If you turn the guy's head around or not away from the forward motion, if you just hit it and let go, they'll call face mask, which is 5.
And it's a good thing. It's a great way to protect the quarterback.
Andy Reid in his second year, he's been incredibly successful in Philadelphia.
I talked to him on the field, and he said, "Can we leave yet?" He wants to know we can go home now.
Well, you know, we talked about at the beginning. All they want to do is get out of here healthy.
Still going to be a game.
Hugh Douglas said it.
Rabi Abdullah dives to the 30. Actually, next week will be the third time this year these teams have prepared for each other. They prepared for each other the second week of the season before the 9/11 disaster. They're preparing this week and getting ready for next week. So they are going to know each other about as well as you can.
So they're actually preparing this week for next week.
If you look at it that way.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't gloss this whole thing over. And Sean King, when he came in and threw 2 passes, he didn't get the game plan.
I think you can over-prepare. I really do.
King short set to Cook out in the flat, and he is spun out of bounds by Quentin Caver, the rookie linebacker from Arkansas.
I talked to Jim Johnson, the defensive coordinator of the Eagles, and one of the guys he was real curious at looking at was Quentin Caver. He felt like he wanted to see how well he can blitz. He wanted to see how he covered in space. There you saw him make a nice open field tackle. Normally plays behind Mike Caldwell at the right linebacker position. Between Carlos Emmons at 250 and Quentin Caver at 230, you got a nice variety. Big guy, run stopper, another guy, chase the quarterback.
Has a lot of speed. 3rd and 2 for the Bucs. King from the shotgun rifles this one down the middle, and it's going to be a first down up at the 47-yard line. Carl Williams with a catch.
Well, when we sat down and visited with Sean King, and just the fact that he had the opportunity to play in this game, he was excited. He said he learned a lot. He learned how much he hated sitting on the bench, but he understood the situation. He wanted to come in here. When we said this game doesn't mean very much, he said to some of us it means an awful lot. You got to remember, he's 15-9 as a starter, second-round selection, and there's no saying that this football team wouldn't be in the same situation if Sean King was the quarterback.
Philadelphia shows blitz. Abdullah cuts it outside and pushed out of bounds. And another thing about Sean King, he said he would like personally to win this game for Tony Dungy. This is the coach who went out and got Brad Johnson to replace Sean King as the starting quarterback. He still wants to win it for Dungy.
And when we asked Sean King, do you want to be back here next year? It has nothing to do with contract. He says, definitely. I want to be here. I want to play for Tony Dungy here in Tampa. He's
only in his 3rd year. And the guy's looking at a lot of years and a lot of opportunities to play for someone else if he gets the chance.
Eagles appeared to jump Darwin Walker again.
Well, that's 20 yards and penalties on Darwin so far.
Well, what a nice job by Sean King, though. Goes with the hard count.
Encroachment, 97. Defense. 5-yard penalty. Still second down.
And Walker is playing that tackle spot because their outstanding run stopper, Hollis Thomas, broke his foot last week running onto the field for pregame introductions. And they need to find a tackle. Grassmanis, the guy who would normally be there, is also hurt. Abdullah moving the pile. The last few games, the Eagles have not done a good job of stopping the run. They were 20th overall this season, but giving up 130 yards a game in the last 3 games.
Well, you know, it goes to show you how, when you have a big guy in the middle, like Hollis Thomas, and you got that guy and you lose him, he is the one guy that usually takes on 2 people.
One of the team that's the classic of that would be the New Orleans Saints, who just got pummeled again today when they lost Norman Hand.
Blitz coming from the Eagles. King sidesteps one, throws That had interception written all over it, but it was wide of Al Harris.
But I'll tell you what, if you looked at that defensive line of Philadelphia getting off the ball on that play on third down, I mean, you can't tell them this might be a preseason game. When these guys came off the ball, Sean King really had no chance.
Mark Royals will come on to kick to Mitchell. 7th in the league, averaging 12 yards a return. Angles it toward the near sideline, takes a bad hop and goes out of bounds up around the 24-yard line. Kick of only 22 for the veteran Mark Royals. So the Eagles will take over at their 24, down 3-0. Hugh Douglas not playing tonight, so he'll do a little coaching on the sideline for that Eagles defense.
Tell them they look good. That's what he's telling them. You guys look good. I look better because I'm in street clothes, but you guys look good.
Coy Detmer, the quarterback, Buckhalter, and Martin are the backs behind him. Buckhalter. Get down to Susie Colbert and Pro Bowler Keyshawn Johnson.
Well, Keyshawn, you come into the weekend tied for the league lead in receptions, but you also been playing on a bad ankle. So are you kind of torn? You want to be out there? You want to rest?
Yeah, I'd rather rest. And the fact that we got into the playoffs is not that big of a deal. I don't really care about the receptions. I've done what it takes to get my team into the postseason. Plus, I made the Pro Bowl, so it doesn't lead the league in receptions and stuff like that. I'll trade this vacation anytime for that.
Down the stretch, it's been buck ball again. Run, run, run. But Brad's also thrown for more than 550 times this season. So who are you guys now?
Well, we're just a team, I think, that's going to continue to play our best ball late in the year. If it's running the ball to Mike or throwing the ball down the field, we're going to take our best chances, whichever one that may be.
I'm going against this ultra-aggressive Eagles defense, some great corners. So what do you have in store for them for next week?
I'm going to rest, and then you'll see.
All right, Keyshawn, thanks. Mike.
Susie, what a great year he had. 106 catches during the regular season. Detmer back to throw. Flags are down. John Lynch with a pick. Lynch playing with a bad shoulder. I asked him earlier in the week, you going to play or rest? He said, oh, I'm playing. John Lynch wants to play. There is a marker down. Let's check that.
It's going to go against the Eagles. Illegal motion.
John Lynch is one guy. Well, he's not one, but there are a lot of guys that it doesn't make any difference what kind of game and what it means
illegal
to be on the
formation
field.
on the offense. That penalty's declined. First down, Tampa Bay.
That guy comes to play when he gets out of bed.
Well,
I'm telling you right now.
The whole point is you've got to play starters. You've got a limited roster. He does an excellent job of reading Coy Detmer's eyes and just cuts right in front of Freddie Mitchell. Warren Sapp getting his usual double team, sliding still, putting pressure on Coy Detmer. Warren may not have posted the numbers, only 6 sacks, but boy, he can still bring heat.
Third interception of the season for John Lynch, and the Bucs set up shop at the Eagle 27. Empty backfield for King. Throws, and that's the rookie Milton Wynn with his second catch of the night and his second of the year. Quentin Caver with the tackle.
When you throw this play here, it really is almost like a running play. I mean, you spread everybody out. You've got 5 receivers, and it's just a little dump pass. If he breaks it, fine. He's got maybe have a touchdown. But this picks up 7 yards. Now you can do anything you want to do.
Well, the thing that a lot of defenses do, when you go 4 or 5 wides now, the defensive linemen are so smart. They know you're not going to take a deep drop, so they take a step or so and get their hands up.
King dumps it to Stecker. Gang tackle as he got to the 13-yard line.
Can I just, I know Philadelphia's defense, that's vanilla. Hey, you want to go and explain this offense to us?
Yeah, well, they're cracking a few heads out there. They got the nutcracker out, I'll tell you that.
The Bucs providing a little chocolate sauce to the vanilla right now. And Aaron Stecker has been used as the third down back behind Dunn and Allstott this year.
It was really Aaron Stecker's kickoff return against the New Orleans Saints that set the tempo in that game and propelled Tampa into the opportunity to be in the playoffs.
Stecker, room to run off the left side, cuts it back inside the 10 to the 9. And don't forget, this was the Tampa Bay team that was 4-5 and written off by everybody. And then they played the St. Louis Rams and beat them. I think that was the watershed event this year.
Yeah, well, they went up against Pittsburgh. Look at the games that they lost. They lose to Pittsburgh 17-10, lose to Chicago 24-27. They beat St. Louis 24-17. They have played some very good football.
They have had a wicked schedule, Joe, all year long.
That game may have given them the confidence, Mike, that the Pittsburgh game where they gave up 10 sacks really started this offensive line saying we have to play better, and they have.
Brad Johnson said a couple of those games took a year off his career. He was hit so hard and so often. Of course, we have come to expect this turnaround from the Tampa Bay Bucks. They seem to get off to horrible starts. In '99, they were 3-4, then finished 8-1. Same in 2000, finished 7-2. Same this year, finished 6-2.
It was funny when we talked to Warren Sapp about it. He said, hey, listen, I just assume start with victories. We don't like doing this all the time.
Crowd comes to its feet here in Tampa Bay to give a hand to the Bucks. They will finish the first quarter on top 3-0 over the Philadelphia Eagles as these teams get set to play each other next week with the playoffs at the Vet. Totally dominant first quarter for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. 103 yards, only 5 for the Eagles, and 1 big turnover for Philadelphia.
Well, if we do the game next week, please say that stat so we can put it up after the first quarter.
May not matter much.
Yeah.
Third down and a yard for the Buccaneers. Stecker and Cook, the running backs. Stecker. Touchdown.
Down Tampa Bay.
John Lynch's pick set it up.
Well, that was outstanding blocking by that offensive line at the point of attack.
4-yard touchdown run by number 22.
There wasn't much of a decision by Stecker. You saw the holding got there. Take a look on the left-hand side.
I remember when we did their preseason game. We came down here to visit with Tampa. And Keyshawn, Warren Happy, Dave Moore. But I remember coming down talking to Tony Nathan, the running backs coach, and they were really excited about Aaron Stecker. I mean, he had an excellent preseason. And, of course, when you've got Allstott and Dunn, you're not going to get a lot of opportunity. But he certainly has capitalized on it.
First career rushing touchdown for Aaron Stecker comes from the last week of the regular season. And Brian gets the point after to extend the Bucs lead to 10-0. Monday Night Football, the Minnesota Vikings and the Baltimore Ravens coming up. 9 o'clock ABC Monday night. Here's what happens if the Ravens win. The Jets would play at the Raiders, and the Ravens would go to Miami to face the Dolphins. If they lose, they're out. The Seahawks would play in Oakland. The Jets would go to Miami to meet Dave Longstadt's Dolphins. That is the AFC playoff scenario, which will not be determined until after tomorrow night's ballgame.
How about Trent Dilfer?
That's amazing, isn't it?
It's so great. I mean, what a professional, what a job he's done all year.
He has had an incredible attitude and put up some remarkable numbers. Mitchell on the run and dumped at the 32. Rabi Abdullah downfield just cut the wheels out from under him. 14:45 to go first half. 10-0 Tampa Bay. ESPN Sunday Night Football is brought to you by 1-800-CALL-ATT for collect calls. By Kia Motors, makers of a full line of quality cars backed by a 10-year warranty program. And by Xbox. Visit Xbox.com. The future of video games has arrived. This is the J.C. Newman Cigar Factory, a family-owned operation for over 100 years, specialized in the handmade cigar specialty. I'm sure Joe's been there a couple of times this week.
They are good, I can tell you that.
And I can tell every time you smoke a cigar.
Detmer throws this one complete up to the 46-yard line. Tony Stewart, the rookie tight end out of Penn State, makes his third catch of the year.
He's another guy that talked about the fact that this is an opportunity for him to be able to knock some rust off. And this game does count. You know, when you've got a quarterback like Coy Detmer on the other side, Sean King, these guys have played in games. It's not like having a rookie. Donovan McNabb gets a chance to rest. Sean King gets an opportunity to play. Coy Detmer out there will run a very basic offense, but it can be efficient.
Blitz coming. Buckhalter runs right through across the 40 to the 39.
You know, we watch all these games all year long, and when you see that kind of off-tackle direct handoff play against the blitz, and all you really have to do, take a look at this, is just block two people. The end on the outside and the tackle on the inside, because the linebackers are blitzing, you got a natural hole.
You really don't need to block them. All you do is need to get in their way, right?
Screening.
Buckhalter, 19 yards rushing so far in this game on 4 carries. Detmer straight back to throw, now under pressure. Incomplete. Nice defensive play that time by Dwight Smith. Let's go down to Susie.
Mike with Chad Lewis. Chad, maybe a little bit quieter season for you personally than you would have preferred, but if you're going to make some noise, doing it last week in the biggest game of the year, 7 catches, 74 yards, 2 touchdowns. Describe what it was like winning the division like that in that type of game.
It was unbelievable. I thought Donovan had his best game as an Eagle. I mean, he was pinpoint all night long, making plays, and everyone else just rose to the occasion, and I'm glad he threw it to me. It was fun to make those catches.
What was his demeanor like in the huddle? How is he rallying guys? How has he matured?
He was fearless. I mean, he had total confidence in his eyes the whole night. I mean, he walked in the huddle, and we fed off of that. And when he walks in the huddle and he responds like that, everyone wants to just lay down their life for him, and it's fun to play with him.
Next week's game, a rematch of last year's first round. Do you expect a war?
It is going to be a war, no matter what. It's going to be a war. And we're not counting on anything. We're not counting on the weather to help us. We just got to go out and lay it on the line.
Good luck. Thanks, Chad. Mike?
Thank you, Susie. Lewis, who made the Pro Bowl a year ago. His numbers were down this season. Drew quite a few double teams. Detmer under pressure. He's going to run for it. Has the first down and more, and nearly dehorned at the 20. When you slide a little sooner, right, Joe?
But, you know, Coy Detmer is one of those competitors that, I mean, he gets running on this play, and he's torn whether he wants to slide or not. Nice movement in the pocket, good ability to get outside. Now he makes the decision. Look, I don't know whether I want to slide. Yeah, okay, fine. You know, a little bit late.
Let me tell you, Joe, get untorn. Get down.
Get untorn. Or you will get torn.
That's right. Get untorn, son.
He likes to get dirty. I never felt like I was in a game until I got knocked around a little bit dirty.
When I was a little kid, I liked to play in the mud, but I didn't like to get hit when I was in the mud.
Martin. Boy, what a solid tackle.
There's also half the distance.
Did he get him by the face mask?
No,
I thought he got him by the jersey.
I think he grabbed him from behind.
They threw it. The official was standing right there, the sideline guy. He threw the flag as soon as he grabbed him.
See, I thought he grabbed him from behind. I don't think he grabbed him on the face mask.
You don't think so?
No.
There is no penalty on the play. The defender grabbed the jersey. Second down.
Watch behind. See that? He's grabbing his jersey in front and from behind. Excellent tackle.
It's a nice job of officiating because a couple of guys had better angles and came in and helped them change the call.
You know, that truly is, and you're absolutely right, Joe, but the guy on the sideline his back was to him. He never saw it.
He makes the right call. It's a great job of officials working together. You're right, Mike.
Detmer straight back to throw, scrambles again, and now tries to throw it sidearm with no momentum whatsoever, and it's incomplete in the flat.
Knowing Coy Detmer, these are the kind of throws. He's like a mini Brett Favre. He's going to step up. He's going to do things with the football you just don't expect. Jumps up. Watch this. Should I run? No, wait, hold it. You're out of the corner of my eye. Coral, here. Coral, take this. Wait a second. Whoop. Not quite.
3rd and 7 for the Eagles. Bucks come with a blitz. Detmer for the end zone, incomplete. Stewart was the closest Eagle receiver to it.
Incomplete. 4th down 7.
Did you say mini Brett Favre?
Mini Brett Favre.
Mini, huh?
Yeah, mini. It means like you try and be like
Let me move over by
spectacular. But hey, those are the kind of throws you see out of Brett. Stepping up in the pocket,
He
throwing it up.
completes them.
But that's what I'm saying. That's why he's a mini.
That's the difference.
That's why he's a mini.
David Akers, who had a 17 straight string snapped, bangs this one off the post. He's missed 2 in 2 weeks after hitting 17 in a row.
Michael, those posts are still shaking. You don't think he didn't bong that?
Oh, he caught it flush.
I mean, he hit it hard.
Back at Raymond James Stadium, the pirate ship is rocking, and the goalposts are still rocking after David Akers hit one off the upright.
That's good.
Bucks take over at 25. Abdullah. Rabi Abdullah, horse-collared flags down everywhere. That'll be 15 more on top of that run. Rashard Cook took him out by the face mask.
No, I don't think there's any question on this one, Joseph.
Absolutely not. That's going to be a 15-yarder.
This is what? The 3rd one called so far in this game. I mean, this one is for real.
You know what it is?
2 for real, 1 not.
I'll tell you why things like this happen. You've got guys who aren't used to playing at the speed that some of these guys play at. You've got vets that have been playing. Now you watch Cook just grab them and pull them back. So what happens is they're not quite in position to make the plays. They're just reaching out and grabbing at anything.
Cook is playing tonight because Brian Dawkins, who made his 2nd Pro Bowl, is out. Troy Vincent also not playing in the Eagles secondary. He's another Pro Bowler.
1st and 10 at the 48.
They'll be geared up and ready to go for next week. Sean King. Double clutch, throws, intercepted. Picked off by Cook. He atones for the mistake with the interception of Sean King. And there is a marker down in the Eagles secondary.
Boy, I'll tell you, I don't know which one of the defensive linemen got in Sean King's face, but he is the reason for this interception because Sean King had to pull it down.
And the interception will be nullified. Illegal contact by the Eagles.
Mike, I think it's going to be blocked. I think it's going to be blocking in the back after the interception, though. It's a post-interception call.
Kalu is the guy, number 94, that really causes this interception.
Illegal block in the back. 91. 10-yard penalty. 1st down, Philadelphia.
Joe, you're right. The interception will stand. It was a post-interception penalty.
Well, the other thing, too, Paul, besides that, Sean King was just late with the throw. And if you're going to be late with the throw, you're not going to have any opportunity to be able to get it where you want, whether somebody's in your face or not.
.10:46 to go in the half. Buccaneers on top of the Eagles, 10-0. Buckhalter, the deep man in the eye behind the reader. Detmer to throw one to the screen that wasn't there. He just tosses this one out of bounds. Chuck Darby, the pressure.
We got a late flag.
The Eagles and the Bucks met in last year's NFC wildcard playoff game. Philadelphia posted a 21-3 win at the Vet. Donovan McNabb was sensational. 24 of 33, 161 yards, and 2 touchdowns. That last flag after that play may be intentional grounding because he didn't get it back near the line of scrimmage.
Ineligible downfield, number 73, offense. That penalty is declined. 2nd down.
Jim Pine, who is playing center tonight for Hank Fraley. You can be out of the pocket and throw the ball away, but you have to get it back to the line of scrimmage, and that thing was about 25 yards out of bounds short of it.
Matter of fact, that whole offensive line of the Eagles are all backups.
2nd and 10. Buchalter trying to get outside. Got maybe a half a yard, but he's buried. Nate Webster and John Howell.
You know, and it's not degrading all the backup guys, but if you're a running back like Buchalter is here and knowing all of these guys are backups in front of you and they're blocking, and look what happens. He has no chance to get to the outside. Webster is there to take him down. There really is no blocking along the line of scrimmage.
Webster's a guy with quite a future out of Miami. He's a wicked hitter. They think the world of him as soon as he has a better handle on the defense. 3rd and long, blitz coming. Detmer steps up and throws. He's got the first down. Damian Douglas makes the catch in Tampa territory, gain of 16.
Oh, this is a great balance by Damian Douglas. I mean, it almost looked like his knee didn't hit. Look at him. He's upset, but he gets hit. Damian Douglas, watch this. He's coming across the middle. He doesn't know Detmer's in trouble. Look at this catch. Now watch the spin.
Coy Detmer doing a nice job of stepping up into the pocket to give him a chance. Here comes your spin, Paul.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, knee just
knees down. Right knee.
And
nice
they spotted correctly back at the 47-yard line. Still a first down. Detmer's 2nd completion of the night, the first catch of the year for Damian Douglas. Buchalter again. Takes a couple of shots and still powers forward to the 37-yard line. Picks up 9.5.
There's another thing about this game when you approach it as a player. It has no bearing or significance in the overall scope of playoffs or anything else. But if you don't play hard in a game like this, there's a chance if you're on that field, you could get hurt. So you better go as hard as you can. That's why you see a Simeon Rice running down the field to try and make plays. Monty Kiffin, the defensive coordinator, is still going to be grading these guys on the effort and the hustle that they put out.
Rod Smart checks in for the first time. You may remember him from the XFL. He's the guy who had "He Hate Me" on the back of his jersey. Smart. Flag is down. He's gotten a lot of grief over that nickname. They gave him a new nickname here, Heat, which is short for "He Hate Me." So he's got a nickname for his nickname.
I think it's terrific. We got a holding penalty
Holding,
against Philadelphia.
73, offense, 10-yard penalty, still 2nd down.
So that wipes out the first official carry of Rod Smart's NFL career. He'll get a few more tonight. Buchalter comes back in.
It was funny when we were sitting in the meeting with him yesterday, and Joe said, you know, first of all, he wondered why he was in with us talking to us. And then Joe says, you know, you're going to play tomorrow. I said, I am? Joe said, yeah, a lot. He said, I think you're scaring him a little bit. Yeah, you're going to play a lot.
He was sitting in the lobby of the hotel for 2 days. Ready to get here.
Detmer changing the play. Look like some movement up front, and they're going to whistle this one dead. Jeremy Mayberry, it looked. No, it wasn't Mayberry. It was Ryan Shaw.
The snap, false start, 67, offense, 5-yard penalty, still 2nd down.
Shaw starting at left tackle for Trey Thomas.
But when Smart came out of our meeting, Coy Detmer was coming in. And Coy had been in the meetings before because he had started. So Rod said to him, hey, don't be nervous. It's okay. Trying to help him out.
Rod evolved before our very eyes in 5 minutes.
He's beautiful, the guy, I tell you.
2nd and 16. Buchalter, nice cut. Kelly has him, but he drags them for the first down to the 36-yard line. Good hard run for Buchalter.
Buchalter rushed for 490 yards so far. You see his ability to run with the football, break tackles. 8 carries tonight, 52 yards. Nice patience, good job of cutting, and then there's the power after the contact. 6.5 yards a pop tonight.
Out of Nebraska, a rookie taken in the 4th round. Rod Smart comes back in for the Eagles. Smart off the left side. near the 30, Jeff Gooch, who was a starter here for a year. Now a backup outside linebacker behind Derek Brooks.
You know, we asked Andy Reid about Rod Smart. He hate me if people remember him better by that. But, you know, what do you think? He said, you know, he's a very good player. You know, you got to love the guy's attitude.
Well, Andy Reid was talking about he's smaller than Deuce Staley, quicker than Buck Halter. He's a fast guy, got a quick twitch. It's great that he's had a chance to play.
Smart again. Nothing doing this time. Monday night, ESPN and ESPN2 will have a full night of college basketball for you. 7 Eastern on ESPN2, Oklahoma, Connecticut. 9 Eastern on ESPN, Providence against Texas. Then at midnight Eastern on ESPN, Gonzaga against New Mexico. Big Monday on ESPN and ESPN2. 3rd and 4. It's been a good drive for Coy Detmer so far. They show blitz and back off, and Detmer, complete pass, fumble, the Bucks have it. John Howell recovers the fumble.
They might call it incomplete. They might call that incomplete.
Nate Brown was the receiver.
Incomplete.
Well, Tony could get a challenge. There's the move inside. Does he make a run?
Whoa, this is a catch.
Unless from the other angle. This is the angle you want to see. Does he have it? 1, 2,
3, 4, 5.
Put the ball away. That's a catch.
Throw the flag out.
Throw it out, Tony. Throw it out.
They're going to line up for a field goal. If they get the snap off, there can't be any challenge. And Akers for the field goal, and he's got it.
Somebody's got to ask Tony Dungy at the end of this game why he didn't challenge.
47-yard field goal. Obviously a bad call. Let's go back to that incomplete pass as you see the score here, 10-3. It was obviously a fumble if they had had a replay, but apparently we're told the whistle blew. They ruled it incomplete, so the Bucks can't get the ball one way or another. It is a dead play because they ruled it incomplete and blew the whistle.
Well, if that's the case, the official blew it.
Yes.
Then we can't blame Tony Dungy for not trying to challenge.
And the whistle.
That's just a bad decision by the official. That was a completion.
Bad whistle. Bad whistle.
Akers now to kick it off. And Stecker is deep with Rabi Abdullah. From the 14, Abdullah across the 30 to about the 32. We asked you about our ETV poll at the beginning of the game. Who was the best individual story this season? And Tom Brady gets it, 41%. To 28% for Garrison Hurst. Priest Holmes third at 16%. Those are the three guys that I would have picked out at the
but Paul,
when we started this.
But Paul, you're right. Every one of them is a great story in this league this year.
Boy, I tell you, Priest Holmes playing with the Kansas City Chiefs, and they weren't very good.
He was the offense.
Yeah, he was.
Tom Brady, though, congratulations. New England Patriots, Bill Belichick, what a job he's done there.
They win the division. Do you believe that? That's magnificent for them. Stecker is in there as a running back. King under pressure and he's buried back at the 24-yard line.
Obviously, Jim Johnson isn't going to hold back on all his defenses. This is what the Eagles are. The Eagles are a pressure style of defense, and they're going to bring people from the outside. There you see the opportunity for Burgess to get in and make the play.
2nd and 17. Clock running with 5:15 to go first half. If you joined us late, this game cannot change the outcome of the playoffs. That's set. The Bucks will go to Philadelphia next week. And we have early motion out there. Murphy, the flanker, getting an early start on his block.
Encroachment. 29. Defense. 5-yard penalty. Still second down.
You usually don't see a defensive back offside coming across making contact before the snap. Neither is Andy Reid.
Well, when you don't play much,
you don't hear the snap count. You think you hear something.
You're only supposed to be watching that guy in front of you, and that's, you know, Frank Murphy's the only guy out there in front of you.
Other guys on the other sidelines yell hut, you jump.
Now 2nd and 12 after the exchange of penalties. Stecker. Aaron Stecker knocked out of bounds by Tim Houck. Let's go to the sideline. You want a great story? Warwick Dunn is down there with Susie.
Warwick, number one, how much do you guys want to win this game for Tony?
Well, Tony's a big reason why we've been successful here, and I think people are starting to forget that. And to win for him, and guys love to play for him, so why not want to win for a coach that you love to play for?
Would you say it's fair to say this, that it's been kind of a reversal of fortunes for you and Mike Allstott? Last year, he gets hurt. You prove you can carry the load. This year, the offense is designed around you. You're hurting. He winds up carrying the load.
Well, it's been a rough year for me, and by no means am I upset. I think Mike has done a tremendous job since he's been here, and we work well together. But it's just frustrating for me because I haven't been at 100% since week 1, really. So I'm just trying to do my thing, get back, but I'm happy for Mike because Mike has proven that he can carry the load, and that's all you really want a guy to do.
The true warrior that you are, anything keep you out of next week's game?
Not at all, not at all. I could have played tonight, but to give my foot some time to heal, just a little bit of relaxation, and next week I'll get back at it, and we'll see what happens.
If there's one weakness that Eagles defense has, it is stopping the run. Watching film, do you feel you can exploit them?
I think we can run on anybody. It's up to our offensive line. Those guys have to come out block well, but we can't run on anybody any given Sunday. So what we have to do is just go out, get ready, preparing the run game, and just hopefully we come out and run the football. If you run the football in the playoffs, you have a good chance of winning.
Best of luck. Thanks, Warwick.
I need it.
Mike?
All right, Warwick, thank you very much, Susie. Warwick Dunn is one of the nicest young men that I have ever met. He has bought single mothers 28 homes in the last 5 years, made the down payment.
What he does, put the down payment down.
He's unbelievable.
Yeah, I mean, he furnishes them, he stocks the pantry, stocks the kitchen, stocks the refrigerator, gives them a real start in life.
Stecker shakes a couple of tackles. He has done this, Warwick Dunn has, because his mom was an off-duty police officer in Louisiana where they lived when she was killed when she was off-duty in a robbery attempt. And he knew what it was like to struggle. And he has tried to help people ever since in 3 different cities since he's gotten into the NFL and had the money to do it. And you have to tip your hat to Warwick Dunn as a tremendous humanitarian as well as an outstanding football player.
Yeah, he really is. And I tell you the one thing, when Susie asked him, will you be ready next week? And I can assure you, Susie, you can ask everybody that has a slight injury in this football game or going into this next week's game. If they get it, I'll put a uniform on. They're going to play. We have an injured Philadelphia Eagle on the field.
Looks like Carlos Emmons will check on him. And we talked about the Bucs offense. The problems they have had running the ball. They went from 9th in the NFL last year to 28th this year, only 87 yards a game. A lot of that has to do with the offensive line had a miserable start to the year. And Warwick Dunn's injury. The passing game is perked up because of the acquisition of Brad Johnson and the necessity to throw the ball.
I think also it has to do with the fact that this year they played the AFC Central Division. They played the Pittsburgh Steelers. They played the Chicago Bears. They play the Baltimore Ravens. You play against, a division that doesn't necessarily give you a whole lot of opportunities to be able to run the football. I mean, in your division, it's not easy.
Susie, you have more on that running game?
Well, just talking to Clyde Christensen before the game, he explains, and just as I was bringing up with Warwick, that they set up the offense and the style of running for Warwick Dunn. Quicker, get to the outside, not so much straight ahead. Then Warwick gets hurt, and now we're building around Mike Allstott. It's more north and south. The blocking schemes are simpler, and it took them a little while to make that adjustment, which explains some of the reasons why they struggled a bit, and now they're back on track.
Last couple of weeks, they certainly have been. Rabi Abdullah checks in at running back, and King is back to throw. Dumps it off. Abdullah, nice catch. Rabi Abdullah diving for the sticks, and he's got the first down inside the 30. Barry Gardner chased out of bounds.
I'll tell you, Abdullah just showed everybody about speed. Watch this when he catches the ball. Look at him take off. Now, he just outruns a linebacker on that side, which is Caver, excuse me. I mean, he just outruns him to the outside and picks up the first down. That's just terrific speed.
Sean King showing the veteran he is. Isn't going to try and force a play, wander on over, and take the 2-minute warning.
The Bucs have dominated this game so far. They lead at 10-3, 2 minutes to go, first half.
I'm Chris Berman. You'll certainly want to join us at halftime. We'll give you the playoff preview, the lineup, and tell you that Rams-Bears win 1-2 in the NFC. The Packers securing at least one home game for themselves. The Jets getting a playoff berth. Seattle staying alive. And a college basketball shocker. Michael, I know you want to stay tuned to that.
All right, Boomer, I'll be taking notes. Somebody told me about that basketball shocker, and I'm still shocked.
You get to start seeing them up close and personal, don't you?
Wednesday and Thursday night, my basketball season starts.
We got Wednesday.
Got North Carolina and Maryland.
And then
Georgia Tech at Duke. Woo. Woo. No easy passes in the ACC.
And then join us for the weekend, right?
Absolutely. Wherever we are.
Philadelphia. Nope, Philadelphia.
At Shocker, by the way, we won't keep you hanging anymore. Duke lost to Florida State. Now, in football, you expect that. Not in hoops. Huge win for the Seminoles. Sean King, screen, Abdullah. Boy, Sean King did a great job of getting rid of that, and Sean King is down. Quentin Caver came on the blitz and delivered the blow.
Well, Jim Johnson wanted to see what Quentin Caver could do. He found out he can come hard. Caver comes flying up inside. Sean King just gets it out. Got to protect that right shoulder. He gets buried after the throw. Nice catch.
Look at Cozy Coleman, number 60, out front. Watch him blocking. That's great.
Nice job by Abdullah to set up the blocks. Empty backfield. King to throw. Quick slant, and he's got it complete down to the 6-yard line. The strike to Frank Murphy.
As if it matters, they have 3 timeouts. I want to let you know about that.
Thank you.
Paul, thank you so much. I'm sure Andy was appreciative of that, too.
Yes, he is. He has 3 also, so I spread it around.
Spot the ball up to 7. They need to get inside the 4 for the first down. Stecker is back in at running back. And Aaron Stecker will get the ball just inside the 5. They'll still be shy of a first down. Clock running 1:04 in the first half.
Sean King looking over. Do you want me to call timeout? Absolutely not.
It will be 3rd and a long 1.
Really, the Bucs offensively haven't run a whole lot of varied styles of offense. They're not a very complex offense. They concentrate on getting the ball to Keyshawn Johnson. And down here, you look for the slot guy to be the man to get the ball.
This one's tipped at the line of scrimmage, incomplete, intended for Murphy, running a little slant in the end zone, and this will bring on Doug Bryan and the field goal team.
As if we have to say the best defense in the world is to knock it down at the line of scrimmage. But that ball, I mean, that's what when you know you got it. Joe said it earlier, when you got 5 guys spread out, the defensive linemen, all they have to do is take 1 step and jump up in the air.
To be honest with you, what I do is I'd rush the 2 guys over the center and the 2 guards, let the 2 defensive ends or linebackers, whoever might, take 2 steps forward and stand up and try and bat a ball, because it's probably going to be a slant.
Doug Bryan knocks it through, so Bryan 23 and 42 yards tonight. And it's 13-3. We talked earlier about what may have been defining moments for the Bucs. This is against the Rams. Mike Allstott ran for 2 touchdowns. The defense turned the ball over against that powerful offense 5 times. And then in Week 16, the Bucs absolutely manhandled the Ravens defense. Derek Brooks keyed the Bucs defense, and Mike Allstott rambled for 80 yards, including that game-clinching 32-yard run. So they have faced a wicked schedule, and in the games they had to win against the toughest teams they were going to face all year, they came up big.
And New Orleans was a big game for them.
Yes,
New Orleans was the one that really set them straight.
You know, when you sit there and you look at both of these teams tonight and you look at their offenses and what they're doing, again, the defenses are playing basic vanilla defenses. I mean, they're just playing standard defense. But you look at the offenses, and if you're wondering what they're showing absolutely nothing. These are the things, most of the things, are the good things they've done all year long. They've consolidated them down, and these are the things that work best for us. So we'll use those things tonight.
I think what happens, you can get too cute. The biggest concern for these football teams, as I look at it from a coaching perspective, is how stale or fresh will they be? Because will they get too much information, and will we overcoach them? Both of the coaches we talked to, Tony Dungy I talked to on Friday, and Andy Reid yesterday, they're both concerned about making sure that their teams are ready to go.
Damian Douglas from the 9. And taken down at the 27-yard line. Coming up at the half, the Toyota halftime show. Chris Berman will be along. The fastest 3 minutes in television, the NFL playoff picture. And then there were none as Duke goes down by 1 against Florida State.
That was their whole big halftime, and you blew it.
Yeah, why did you tell him?
Why'd you tell him?
We told him before.
Oh, who did?
Who did?
I didn't. Joe didn't.
Paul,
you did.
Paul, did you tell him?
I didn't.
I didn't either.
Nice going, Michael.
That's like, why don't you
I'm
say
going to be watching anyhow. I want to see how it happened.
Okay.
And Detmer will take a knee. And the Eagles will be content to go to the locker room. Down 13-3. That's the end of the first half. It's a 10-point lead. Eagles 13-3 down to the Bucs. Now let's join Chris Berman for the Toyota halftime show.
All right, Michael and gang, thank you very much. So we get set for the playoffs kind of with this matchup. Other teams are trying to get set, and it's not often. This is the latest that we've had the final Sunday in the regular season. It's going to go down to the final Monday to know every team in the playoffs. The game that meant the most from both sides for the playoffs, Jets at the Raiders, where they hadn't won at Oakland since they were the New York Titans in 1962. They're 0-8-1 there since that time. The New York Jets, which struck early on a touchdown of Lavernius Coles, get a big run from Lamont Jordan, and they lead the Raiders 21-19 third. Brad DeLuiso subbing for Sebastian Janikowski, missed a 28-yard field goal. He had missed an extra point, but he hit a 37-yard field goal. There it is, lead at 22-21. But Rich Gannon overthrowing Roland Williams with 2.5 minutes to go. The Raiders had to punt it, and John Hall, 53 yards. It's good. The Jets are off the schneid, and in the playoffs, they win 24-22. Seattle can make the playoff, but they had to stop Priest Holmes, who had 117 yards. He's the NFL's rushing leader for the season. But Sean Alexander may have rushed Seattle into the playoffs. They win 21-18. They're in, and Baltimore loses Monday night. No team has lost 15 straight games before in the NFL, but Carolina has. Ty Law, interception. Otis Smith, another score and interception. The wettily clad Bill Belichick, they're champs of the AFC. The Pats over the Panthers 38-6. Meanwhile, Dolphins seal this win over Buffalo with an 100-yard interception by Brock Marriott. The Dolphins beat Buffalo 34-7. Miami finishes 7-1 at home. Browns with the Steelers. Opening kick in the second half. Ben Gay trying to warm up, but he rubs it the wrong way. It's a fumble. Troy Edwards picks it up. Steelers break a tie. They go up 14-7. Tommy Maddox playing second half for Cordell. Hits Hines Ward. He's over 1,000 yards. Plexico Burris over 1,000 yards. Not even Swan and Stallworth did it in the same season as the Steelers. Pittsburgh wins 28-7. Kurt Warner to Marshall Faulk. Faulk, 4 straight 2,000-yard season. The Rams score over 500 points in the 3rd straight year. They beat The Atlanta Falcons 31-13. The Rams are the best record in football, 14-2. The play of the day, Keith Traylor. Chicago Bears, rumbling, stumbling. Look at him go. Where's somebody to lateral it to? What? No, never mind. Where's somebody? No, never mind. The Bears lock up the NFC Norris because the A-Train, Anthony Thomas, had 160 yards rushing. They beat Jacksonville 33-13. Dousings all around. That's Greg Lash, the defensive coordinator. What a great job they did, allowing just 203 points. Fred Farr, Corey Bradford, Packers big lead in New York. With 2.5 minutes to go, call it what you will. Sack. Michael Strahan gets it, breaking Mark Gastineau's record with the Pack in a home game. They win 34-25. Jeff Garcia to Terrell Owens. Hooked up only twice, but it was enough for a 100-plus yard day for Owens. The Niners humbled the Saints 38-0, who end the year giving up 78 unanswered points. Niners finish at 12-4. Bengals and the Titans. Neil O'Donnell playing for McNair in the second half. To Derek Mason. Touchdown. But Cincinnati has beaten some good teams. Pittsburgh last week, they beat the Titans here. Neil Racker's field goal, 23-21. Dominic Rhodes, the first undrafted rookie to rush for 1,000 yards in NFL history. And in a season that wasn't great, the Colts beat Denver 29-10. Will Jim Mora be back?
I will not quit. I want to coach here. I should be the coach here.
Very classy man for a long time in the NFL. The Colts will probably have a quick decision early next week. Meanwhile, the Redskins beat Arizona 20-17. Stephen Davis, 100-yard day. Marty, after an 0-5 start, finishes 8-8. Emmitt Smith, 11 straight 1,000-yard seasons. But in the 211th and final game in the Silverdome, Johnny Morton and the Lions, they beat the Cowboys 15-10. They're moving downtown to a new stadium next year, and it's expected on Monday. Another classy guy that's been in the NFL for a long time, George Seifert, looks like he will be out as head coach of the Carolina Panthers. Panthers expected to make that announcement on Monday following a 1-15 season.
This halftime show is presented by Toyota. Get the feeling.
When we return, we'll square away the playoffs. We know who's playing what day, and a huge upset in college hoops.
Welcome back to SportsCenter In-Game, the Toyota halftime show with your host, Chris Berman.
I'm the king of the world. Hold it. Hold it. You're not that pretty. I'm a bad man.
For more than 30 years, he's been known as the greatest. Tonight on SportsCenter, Robin Roberts asked Muhammad Ali about the war in Afghanistan, Mike Tyson, and Will Smith.
Who's better looking, you or Will Smith?
You heard the wheel? I'm prettier than you.
Tonight on SportsCenter, a special conversation with Muhammad Ali following the Eagles at the Bucs. The greatest, Muhammad Ali. We look forward to that, Robin, that's for sure. In college basketball, going into yesterday, there were 4 undefeated teams left. Oklahoma State, Miami, and Virginia all lost yesterday. That left the top-ranked Blue Devils of Duke. Here we go. In Tallahassee, they led 76-72 against Florida State. Delvin Arrington to Anquan Dixon. And Dixon is going to feel it for 3, yes. We're down 76-75. Jason Williams, uncharacteristic 0 for 6 from the line. Here he misses a pair late. So it's still a 1-point game. And then with just seconds to go, Monte Cummings drives. Tough shot at the baseline. Florida State leads 77-76, 7.4 left. Same score, Duke coming up court. Jason Williams to shoot it. Block. Mike Dunleavy, no good. At Florida State, they storm the court. 77-76, Duke falls to 12-1. The opening golf event at the Plantation Course on Maui at beautiful Kapalua. Sergio Garcia nails a birdie putt on 18 to tie ground control to David Toms to send it to extras as Toms misses a birdie on 18 by that much. Toms has parred on the 18th, which is the first extra hole. Sergio hits the birdie, and for $720,000, he's off and running in the first event on the PGA Tour. See the conversation with Ali More on the Duke, plenty, and pro football and the playoffs. Our top 10 plays of the week on SportsCenter with Dan and Stu following the game.
Welcome back to SportsCenter in-game, the Toyota halftime show with your host, Chris Berman.
13-3 in this, and the Bucs and Eagles, as you know, will do it again next week. That'll be an ABC game. That should be the early game on Saturday. The Sunday game, boy, 2-12-4 teams. The Niners at Packers. The Packers' lifetime at home in the playoffs. 10-0 at Lambeau, 2-0 in Milwaukee. Added up 12-0, but the Niners will be game. In the AFC, if the Ravens win tomorrow night on Monday Night Football and get in the playoffs, Jets go all the way back out for a Saturday game, the late ABC game at the Raiders, who, of course, they took 39 years to win at Oakland. Then they'll have to do it twice in 1 week. The Ravens would be at the Dolphins. That would be that. If the Ravens lose, Seattle gets in, and they will be at the Raiders. Remember, they split home and home this year. And the Jets will beat the Dolphins 8 straight times. That would be the late game on Sunday. And, of course, all this predicated on Monday Night Football, as the Baltimore Ravens play Mike Tice now in for Denny Green as coach of the Vikings. Vikings-Ravens on ABC at 9 Eastern. It's 13-3 at the new Sombrero.
Welcome back to Tampa Bay, where the Bucs are leading the Eagles 13-3 at the half. Nice to have you with us for our 16th and final regular season game, everybody. Who's going into the playoffs hot, who's not? Paul, NFC.
Well, you know, the Chicago Bears are something. I mean, you got your St. Louis Rams, everybody knew they were going to be there, and they're really the best team, I think, right now. But the Chicago Bears with their defense, and then the Green Bay Packers. And you have to, San Francisco has to come to Green Bay, Joe, to play those guys. And that's almost impossible.
I think there are a lot of good matchups in the NFC. In the AFC, you got to think the Pittsburgh Steelers are right where they want to be. I mean, they're as balanced as anybody going in. The Raiders have to be a little concerned. The team that I think you have to watch in the AFC are the New England Patriots. I just don't think you can count out the ability of Bill Belichick to be a defensive coach and Tom Brady to make plays. There isn't any weather that bothers them. They can run with anybody when they get on a turf field. So to me, that whole AFC is, and Oakland, like I said, they've got to find a way to stop people.
Of the two teams here, I think either one of these guys are going to scare somebody in the playoffs.
I think the Eagles can, and I thought Chad Lewis put it very well when Susie had a chance to talk to him. He said that Donovan McNabb played the best game that he's played as an Eagle last week, and that's what he's capable of doing.
The Eagles will get the ball to start the second half. Brian Mitchell. Big return out across the 45 to the 47-yard line. First half stats, and this was a one-way road, 178 to 105. Both teams had a turnover in the ball game, and the Bucs dominated the time of possession. And the scoreboard is very reflective of that, 13-3.
Very solidly played, and this is about the time you'd say in an exhibition game when things would get away, but they won't.
Don't have an 80-man roster.
That's right. You got the, you've got Coy Detmer coming out again. He'll go up against Sean King again.
Buckhalter and Reeder are the running backs. Detmer to throw under pressure and throws wide of Freddie Mitchell.
You know, let's not make any mistake here. There are some guys in this game on both sides of the ball where they would, you know, both coaches, and the film doesn't lie, that they would like to see some production out of these guys. I mean, really are looking at these guys not only for next week's game as backup, but also for next year.
I know, but I got a question for you after this play. I want to ask you, Paul.
I got the answer, too.
I know you do. I got a question for you.
What's the question?
I'm not going to tell you after the play.
Second and 10, Buckhalter. They seal the right side. Buckhalter to the 35-yard line.
You want to wait a minute?
No, I think it's good. Well, that was a nice tackle by Dwight Smith. You're Troy Vincent, okay? Coach calls you and says you're not going to play. You're Bobby Taylor, the other corner. You're going to play. Are you mad a little bit that you're not getting to be the guy to sit down? That you're going to have to play and the other one sits down?
Well, you know, you are thinking, and Troy Vincent said it to us the other day, you know, they look at the other guys and look at him like, why not me?
Right.
Well, Troy Vincent made All-Pro.
Is that a reason?
Bobby Taylor didn't.
Buckhalter hit in the backfield.
David Gibson with a solid tackle.
But there are just, I mean, what did they do? Philadelphia, Andy Reid went into 4 guys, and they sat them down, and he says, you're not playing, you're not playing, you're not playing, you're not playing, and you're also not going to dress, so we're not going to hesitate. We're not going to make any decision. Hugh Douglas happens to be one of those guys. Troy Vincent had to be one of those guys.
But on this particular play, David Gibson played the defense the way it's designed. Don't overcommit, don't chase too fast.
2nd and 11 for Philadelphia. Detmer over the middle, Buckhalter. That'll be a short gain. Gooch with the tackle.
Detmer's pass complete to Buckhalter. Stopped by Jeff Gooch.
Detmer is one of those guys who had a storybook high school career, then went to Colorado, was the first 3,000-yard passer in that school's history, then comes into the pros with a reputation of having a real good head on his shoulders, being able to read defenses and execute an offense. But does he have an NFL arm?
I think he does. I think he has a stronger arm than his brother Ty. And I think that, to me, Coy can be more productive at the position because he does have a stronger arm.
We've got a timeout. Philadelphia burns one early. Back in a moment. ESPN Sunday Night Football is brought to you by Fujitsu. The possibilities are infinite. By Coca-Cola. Life tastes good. And by Taco Bell. We're in Tampa Bay, an area made up by St. Petersburg, Clearwater, Tampa. And 2.5 million people call this area home.
Great golf courses. Great golf courses.
Sunny and 41 in Philadelphia next week. I'd be a little surprised. It was sunny and 41 here this week.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you, it was cold when we got in here on Friday.
You can still play.
Will you quit talking about golf?
Sorry.
The Bucs, not what you would call your traditional cold weather team. Keep putting up that graphic under 40 degrees. Well, if it's under 40 degrees, then they have a problem again. Detmer has a problem on the blitz. Brian Kelly has him by the jersey. David Gibson from the other side. And that brings a smile to Tony Dungy's face.
Every now and then what you do is you don't hold back. You show it.
There's that cold weather graphic. Under 40 degrees, 0-20. That's not good.
They almost had Green Bay last year up in Green Bay, though. They were so close. So close there. That game up in Green Bay really set them back when they went into Philadelphia. Emotionally, they weren't ready. They were ready for a bye. They were ready for a home game, and they had to go play on the road.
Landetta will try to hang this one high. Gets a great bounce. Beautiful kick by Landetta. Sean has done it so beautifully for so long in this league. A 37-yard kick, and now they're going to say it's a touchback and will come out to the 20. Back at Tampa Bay with the Buccaneers on top 13-3. They have just taken over. And a touchback as Landetta's punt caressed the goal line. So it's a touchback. They bring it out to the 20.
Caressed the goal line. Who might
long enough for the playoffs?
Tampa back to the ground game. Abdullah showing that speed again. Out of bounds to 27 and hit after he goes out of bounds. That'll cost him another 15 yards.
I love it when the guy hits a guy out of bounds and you say, what do you call him? He's calling you hitting a guy out of bounds.
You can guarantee one thing. Tim Houck's going to hit somebody, number 45.
You come down to the kitchen for breakfast and you're liable to get nailed by Houck.
He's going to hit him. He hadn't had a chance to play a whole lot, but he's going to hit him.
The Eagles have been penalized 8 times tonight for 80 yards. Tampa Bay has yet to have any yardage marked off. That will not make Andy Reid happy. Blitz coming. And Abdullah runs into the middle of it and is gang tackled. Troy Vincent's a guy we talked about before, making his 3rd straight Pro Bowl this year. 3 picks. Originally a first-round draft choice out of Wisconsin by Miami. Let's go down to Susie. She's with Troy right now.
Well, Troy, obviously you've had another great season. So what's it like for a Pro Bowl player when the coach says, all right, you're sitting this week?
A little difficult. I was surprised, but I've been enjoying it. You know, get a chance for my body to rest and kind of just sit back and be a spectator and kind of a semi-coach all week.
All right, Coach, what do you think of your guys tonight?
A little sloppy, a lot of penalties, some turnovers. And that just comes from guys not used to playing with one another, not used to playing under game time situations. So a little bit expected, a little sloppy, but we'll clean it up next week.
You suggested that you could learn a little more just watching your guys out there, as opposed to the Bucs, that they're pretty straightforward. That hold true to tonight, next week?
They've been running their basic package defensively, you know, cover 2, so 1 coverage. Offensively, they just been pounding the football against us. We expect them to come in Veterans Stadium next week and try to establish the run game, but we've been very vanilla on defense, so we're going to throw some things at them next week.
Keyshawn Johnson was having a little fun with me, saying that it's not so cold here. Now, you're playing Philly. You're telling me it's chilly.
It's cold. I went in halftime to put on a sweatshirt and put on some tights underneath these pants, so I'm looking forward to getting back to Philly.
All right, now we're very impressed that your bus pulls up to the hotel yesterday afternoon. We think John Madden's got a nice bus.
This is the real U.S. one here.
This is the bus.
John Madden, you're right, he owns a bus. This is a coach, what we consider a coach. This is the family area, the living room area, that's the bedroom.
Wow.
It's just the finest of finest. I know Dion owns a coach, a bus. I know Jerome Bettis owns a bus.
The bus
but
owns
John
a bus.
Madden, Dion, Jerome Bettis, that's a real coach.
Nice job, Fred.
Thank you.
Coach from the coach.
I like the way he put that. These guys own buses. I've got a coach. And is that something else? I want to go on the road with Troy.
Isn't it amazing what you can get for $1.5 million? It's kind of amazing.
The other thing about that is he drives it.
Yeah, he doesn't have a driver.
He drives it because he loves to be on the road driving.
Instead of put the kids in the back, let them play, let them watch TV. I would imagine if I was a kid, I'd live in there.
It's a marker down on the punt. We'll check it out.
Coach has got to go back and do a little coaching. Put it wherever you want.
You did hear what I say, $1.5 million, didn't you?
Yes.
Holding, 97, return team during the kick. Half the distance to the goal from the end of the kick. First down.
Tough to get that baby through the drive-through window, though, isn't it?
Well, I'll tell you what. If you pay $1.5 million, you don't have to go to the bank.
Donovan McNabb, who took 2 snaps from center tonight, then called it a night.
Got out before the third down.
Ever since.
Oh, it was a throwing down. He had to leave.
No way they were going to let that pass rush come after him. Now from the 5, the Eagles need some operating room. Buchalter gets to the 9. We asked Warren Sapp to give us an evaluation of Donovan McNabb.
In this day and age, in the new millennium of football, that's an old throwback guy, you know? I am the offense. I am the trigger. I am the bullet. I am the judge, jury, and executioner. And that's how you got to view him, because he's that special that he can take that team and put it on his shoulders and carry them wherever they need to go.
Well, you can just listen to Warren Sapp talk all day long. He is just a lot of fun to be around. Buchalter, what a stop by John Howell.
You know, when Warren Sapp was talking about Donovan last year, he said in the playoff, what we allowed him to do is the one thing we cannot allow him to do is get to the outside. He said if we can keep him in the pocket, then we can do some things. But if we let Donovan McNabb make plays, and that's what stars do, make plays, he said he will kill you.
And he was very upset about it, too, because he said that's all we practiced all week long. Buchalter hitting the backfield, breaks a couple of tackles, and then stacked up at the 11. James Canada led the second wave defensively for the Bucs.
Now, you see people like Derek Brooks, Warren Sapp on the sidelines. Simeon Rice is still out on the field playing with a smile on his face.
Rice has 11 sacks this year.
He's lowered his stance, too. Look at that. Almost gets it. He really disrupts the play. Tony Stewart couldn't handle him.
And now Lendetta's going to have to kick it out of the end zone. And Carl Williams waits near midfield. Sky high. Fair catch made it to 49. Beautiful kick by Landetta. No chance of a return. But the Bucs will take over in Philadelphia territory, already up 13-3. Bucs with a 13-3 lead, 7:30 to go in the third quarter.
I'm going to give you a very important stat. Pay attention, boys. The Bucs have started inside or across the 50-yard line all 7 drives, but only scored 13 points. Wow.
Thank you, Paul.
I don't know how you keep track of all that, Paul.
Sean King in the flat to Cook for about a yard. Monday Night Countdown at 7:30 Eastern on ESPN, the best place to get ready for Monday Night Football. Then on ABC at 9, the season finale of Monday night. As Randy Moss and the Vikings go to Baltimore to face Ray Lewis and the Ravens.
What do you think, guys?
Well, here's the scenario for the AFC. If the Ravens win, they would play at Miami. The Jets would go against the Raiders in Oakland. And the Ravens will be favored to winning that ball game. Stecker trying to get outside, and he's dumped. Obviously, the other scenario, if they lose, the Seahawks would play at the Raiders, and the Jets and the Dolphins would go against each other.
Minnesota minus a coach.
Yes, they are.
Well, not really. Mike Tice is taking over now.
Dennis Green gone. 10-year term as the Vikings head coach. He and Bill Cowher, the longest tenured with any one team. Went to the playoffs 8 times, 4 division titles, 2 NFC championship game appearances. He won 101 games in 10 seasons, and this was his first year with a losing record.
And Denny Green looked upon by his players much like Tony Dungy is looked upon down here as his guys. They really care about their coach.
King under pressure wants the screen. Got it to Stecker, but Stecker hit in the backfield and dropped for a loss. Derek Burgess.
I think Stecker would have preferred that Sean King thrown that one upstairs somewhere.
I'll tell you, Darwin Walker, number 97, you got to talk about individuals. He makes a tremendous play. He's on the right of your screen. He reads the screen. Now watch him. Watch 97. He's the guy that forces Stecker back to the inside and really, he doesn't make the tackle, but makes the play.
A lot of young guys on both these defenses getting a chance to play. Derek Burgess over there out of Mississippi, 3rd-round draft pick. Quentin Cable, we talked about, the 2nd-round pick out of Arkansas.
Nate Brown waits at the 10 for Mark Royal's punt. Nice high sailor. Brown thought about it, then let it go, and it just reaches the end zone. 54-yard kick, but it will come out to the 20. Timeout on the field, 5:12 to go, 3rd quarter. Little Latin music from Tampa Bay for you tonight.
1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Paul, is that you?
I learned all that at the Arthur Murray Dance Studios.
1, 2,
Youngstown, Ohio.
Drove him right out of business. Philadelphia takes over at the 20. Detmer underneath to Buckhalter, and he'll pick up about 5. Let's go to the sideline. Susie with defensive end Marcus Jones.
Well, Mike, Marcus is sitting out with a shoulder sprain. Why don't you first bring us up to date on your health?
Well, right now it's feeling pretty good. It's been getting better every day, and I've been going through treatment and stuff like that. So I should be good to go next week. I'm padded up on Wednesday's practice and see how it feels and just gradually work myself back into it.
How exhilarating to be back in the playoffs, and it all gets going next week.
It's unbelievable. A lot of people don't realize you win one, you keep going. And, you know, for some reason in December and January, we just seem to get better, and we're just looking forward to it, and everybody's looking forward to it.
Why do you make it so difficult on yourselves every season?
Honestly, I don't think we can have it any other way. We're that type of team who likes to have our backs to the corner and just let it all hang out towards the end. For some reason, we just can't get it done in the beginning, but we finish strong. I think that's the only thing that matters.
How different the mental outlook of this team. Last year, you had that emotional loss in Green Bay in the last week. This is a little bit easier.
Well, this is a little, I wouldn't say so much a little bit easier. You know, we're trying to get some things accomplished here. We're trying to get the third year in a row with 10 double-digit wins, and we're trying to get that momentum going for the playoffs. And once you get that going, you become a very tough team to beat.
The downfall last year containing Donovan McNabb. What do you do this time?
This time, you know, you just be a little bit more smarter. You know when you're going up there, they're very good. He's very good at what he does. And we just have to play smart, but understand at the same time we got to rush him like we're capable of rushing.
Good luck.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Mike?
Susie, thanks very much. Eagles have a first down at the 31.
Susie Winder, 6'6". Get on a chair, Suze.
Donovan seems to have caught the attention of a lot of the defensive linemen of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Very popular guy next week.
Buckhalter, the deep man in the eye, as Detmer appeared to be changing the play. And he changed to one that John Howell liked very much as he brings Buckhalter down in the backfield.
By number 38, John Howell.
The Bucs defense, particularly the starters, have been tough again this year. 5th in total yards per game, 2nd in takeaways, and 8th in points, and they have gotten better as the season has gone along.
See, 2 stats that I look at: points per game, 17.5, and the takeaways. You talk to any coach, those 2 will be much more important than any yards running or anything else. They're usually related, but those numbers stand out.
And under Tony Dungy, they have allowed the fewest points in the league since he's been here in 7 years, an average of 17 a game.
We had a shot at John Lynch on the sideline. He's probably one of the few guys in the National Football League that can play without a helmet. I mean, this guy
and would be willing to.
I mean, it really is indicative of him when you ask him the other day, are you going to play? Am I going to play? Yeah, I'm playing.
Talk about playing without a helmet. You remember the shot of Warren Sapp tackling Brett Favre after he lost his helmet?
It doesn't make any difference to these guys.
3rd and a yard for the Eagles as they try to keep this drive going. Buckhalter hit in the backfield, lost a yard. So even the Bucs reserves have come up big.
Okay. I got to say, because I've known Sean Landetta for a long time, and today is his birthday, his 40th, but there's only been one other guy to play in any NFL game on his 40th birthday. I didn't ask you.
I'm sorry.
I got a note, the guy's reading it.
Go ahead.
You know what? George Blanda for the Raiders in 1967.
Yeah, 1977, he played at 50.
Joe played on his 35th birthday and threw 5 interceptions.
Thank you for sharing that with me. Happy birthday, Sean.
Landetta to kick to Carl Williams. From the 25 and lost a couple.
Williams on the return.
The Bucs had half a dozen guys to the Pro Bowl again. All-Stott. 5th time. Keyshawn Johnson, the first time as a Buccaneer. The first 2 were with the Jets. Warren Sapp, his 5th. Derek Brooks, also his 5th. Rondé Barber, who tied for the league lead in interceptions, or led the league in interceptions with 10.
What a year. 10 interceptions, 1 forced fumble, 1 recovered fumble, 1 sack. I mean,
Lynch got his 4th.
Aren't they the only brothers that ever been to the Pro Bowl?
Well, it's neat because they got 2 chances of going. One guy gets to take the other guy if the other one doesn't make it.
And Sean King will be buried after his running back slipped and went down.
King sacked by Caver.
Quentin Caver gets the sack, and it looked like Rabi Abdullah lost his footing.
I'll tell you, they are getting a very, very good look at Quentin Caver. This young man has been all over the field.
Their number 2 pick out of Arkansas.
The Bucs offense is getting a better look at him than they'd like to have.
And when you think of the Eagle linebackers, you know, Emmons is 250, Jeremiah Trotter, both he and Gardner are between 260 and 250, so Caver comes in a little bit lighter than all of them.
Abdullah to the 19-yard line. Clock continues to run. down to the final 30 seconds of the third quarter.
Down to the final 5 quarters.
The only thing this would really mean for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers is they would get to their 3rd straight 10-win season. And you wonder how you can look at Tony Dungy's record and say the guy has won 10 straight 3 years in a row, and there is even a question about his future.
Done it with 3 different offensive coordinators, too. You've got to establish some sense of stability on the offensive side of the ball.
That's the end of the third quarter. A 10-point lead. Back after this. "15 minutes to go from Tampa Bay. The Bucs on top of the Eagles by 10. Here is the NFC playoff picture as it stands right now. The Rams and the Bears draw the first-round byes as the top 2 seeds in the conference. The Bucs are set to play the Eagles on Saturday. The 49ers will visit Green Bay in the Sunday NFC game.
49ers got their act together again today.
Boy, I'll tell you, what a year Garcia has had. Man.
As well, last year, same thing. Jeff Garcia has played fantastically for the last couple of years.
So is Terrell Owens, man.
What a down way for the New Orleans Saints.
Oh, wow. Man. 160 points
Ouch.
they've given up in the last 4 games. 160 points. I don't think they scored since November, did they?
Not enough. 3rd and long here. Stecker is in as the 3rd down back. Sean King protecting the ball, made a good decision there as he was being wrapped up by Ndikwe Kalu and just decided not to try to get rid of it.
Well, they just showed you the speed on the outside. Kalu is number 94. Look at this. He breaks into the inside and then he gets to Sean King, grabs him by the arm and down he goes. That's speed.
You start the rookie Kenyatta Walker at the left tackle position, continues to play.
He played the entire game.
Now Royals will have to kick from the end zone, and Nate Brown is deep to receive. Low line drive kick. Brown up to the 46. Splits a couple of defenders and gets it down to the 39. A 7-yard return after a punt of 38. Got a timeout. Back after this. ESPN Sunday Night Football is brought to you by Domino's Pizza. Get the door. It's Domino's. By Pioneer. Get the ultimate digital entertainment experience from Pioneer. And by Rolling Rock Beer. Grab a rock. And the Eagles come out with a new quarterback, their 5th-round draft choice this year, A.J. Feely from Oregon. Buckhalter swarmed under Kelly, led the charge again. Let's get down to Susan.
With Deuce Staley, also known as Buddy Lee, the indestructible little jeans guy. How did that nickname start?
Well, actually, a couple of guys in the locker room. Well, actually, it was Hugh and Donovan. They got it started, and they knew what I went through last year, going through the rehab. And, you know, it was a tough year for me. But, you know, I continue to fight back.
A little bit different year for a running back to come into this game tied for the team lead in receptions.
Right. Well, you know, that's the part of what Andy do. You know, he likes to get the balls to the back, and, you know, I feel good about it, just going out there and catching screen passes, turning into big runs.
When you head into the playoffs, and one of the most important things is run, stopping the run. Because this team has had problems getting the ball going on the ground, is that an issue for the playoffs?
I think so. I think it's going to be very important for us to establish a run, and I'm pretty sure Andy is going to, you know, harp on that all week. But, you know, that's something we got to do, something that the guys got to step up and do and just take over.
We've seen your offense kind of get rolling over the last couple of weeks. Same can be said for that Bucs D.
Yeah, you know, they're playing well. They have a leader on every level. You know, you got Sapp on the defensive line. You got Lynch back at the safety. You got Brooks at the linebacker. So, you know, those guys, they play well together. They've been around for a while. You know, we just got to handle business.
See you next week.
Thanks.
Thank you, Susie. A.J. Feely with his first 2 professional passes is 1 for 2. Well, he hit the second one for a big one.
First one was a great pass.
Yeah.
I mean, he threaded it between two guys, and then he almost had perfect touch. And here's a guy that doesn't even play.
Oregon's going to have somebody else. Joey Harrington put on a show during the
David Akers is on to try from 50. He's hit from 47. Cranked one off the right upright from 34. Hooked it. So Akers, who has had such a brilliant season, has missed 2 tonight. He had only missed 3 all year coming into this game. Stay tuned for SportsCenter. Dan Patrick and Stuart Scott will be along when the game is over. Our Sunday conversation about Muhammad Ali's future. Chris Berman's top 10 plays of the week. And number 1 heads south.
Ooh, he gave it away early.
Bucks take over after the missed field goal try at the 40. Rabi Abdullah showing a little burst and picks up about 4.
I'll tell you, the last 10 minutes of this ball game has been like short yardage scrimmage. All right, let's line them up, and we're going to come at you and see who can block.
We're going to push you a little bit. You're going to push us a little bit. Big thing is getting out of this thing healthy.
You bet it is.
If you guys were in this situation as players, would you want to sit out or play in this game?
Sit out?
No, I would like to do exactly what happened. I'd like to come out, go through the routine, the preparation, play a little bit, and then sit down.
God, you would like to announce this game tonight by yourself. What are you talking about? We know you would play.
I would never want to do that. I'd be lost without you.
Blitz coming on King, steps up. Incomplete at the 11-yard line.
Paul,
Murphy wanted interference.
We got a flag down here at about the 45-yard line.
Paul, you had that you've wired the end of this game. Just run a little bit here, run a little bit there. I mean, you got this thing wired right now. They throw 80 miles down the field.
That was a great throw.
Hey, Murphy does a good job of turning and going. Hampton trying to make the play on the outside.
Go, Murphy.
Receiver spending all
Illegal motion on the offense. Penalties decline. 3rd down.
That was the first penalty tonight against the Bucks, and it wasn't even taken.
Receivers spend an awful lot of time politicking for interference calls. You never know.
Even when they're not touched.
Yeah, they just throw it.
Third and 6 for the Bucks. Blitz coming. King has it batted away. Rashard Cook, the free safety on the blitz, got up in the face of Sean King.
You know, you really have to recognize excellent plays. And Cook on that play, perfect timing. He knew that King was going to take a short drop because there was nobody back there with him and throw the ball. Joe talked about this in the first quarter. Watch this, 3 steps and bang. Cook gets up in the air, read it perfectly, knocks the ball down.
They're deep in the secondary. Rashard Cook playing well. Tim
Yes,
Howell,
they are.
Damian Moore, of course, Brian Dawkins not dressed. Al Harris, the 3rd corner. Bobby Taylor, Troy Vincent.
Pressure on Royals. He got it out of there to Nay Brown at the 14. Brown pinned at the sideline. Can't make the 20. A return of 6 after a 42-yard kick. Shelton Quarles, the linebacker, down to make the stop on special teams. So Philadelphia will go back on offense, down by 10. (13-3) Buccaneers, 11:53 to go in the ball game from Tampa Bay. The Eagles have the ball back at their own 19-yard line. A.J. Feely is the quarterback, the rookie from Oregon. Pump fake, hit as he throws. Douglas wide open.
That gives you an idea how strong Feely's arm is. He's on his way down when he lets this go. Goes back, makes the pump. Here comes the blitz. Now, he's actually hit and then throws it. So it means you really can't get your legs into it. This winds up being a 25-yard pass. John Howell puts a ton of pressure on him.
Takes some guts to hang into the pocket when you know you're going to get nailed like that. Bucks come with a blitz again. Feely hit as he throws and completes it to Stewart, the big tight end. So Feely has really looked sharp.
Yeah, well,
if he can survive.
You got to love the guts of this guy. I mean, he's thrown 4 passes, 3 of them has been completed. And now it's a little bit behind Stewart, but it's
with reason.
Yeah, there is a lot of reason, but he still gets the ball there where it's catchable.
Feely with a tremendous performance at Oregon. 2.5 to 1 touchdown interception ratio. Throws another complete pass down to the 31.
I like the way he gets the ball out. Look at that. He's bleeding, too. Just got hit in the mouth. Oh, this is great.
I love you,
Look at that.
Lost his starting job to Joey Harrington, the Heisman candidate.
Boy, he put on a show. Joey Harrington, in my opinion, moved up to the #1 candidate coming out of college this year.
Somebody's going to be lucky to get him.
Get blood all over that chin strap.
Feely, play action again, throws. This one's incomplete. That's no pick. It bounced before it went to the arms of Donnie Abraham. Michael Strahan sets the National Football League record for sacks in a season. He got one late today to go to 22.5, breaking Mark Gastineau's record in 1984. Gastineau volunteered that he wanted to be there to see it happen, and congratulate Strahan. You got to take your hat off to Gastineau for that.
And you know something? Everybody looks at what happened with Brett Favre and Michael Strahan. I think it's great. I think that he is so well respected and so acknowledged for his ability to play the game. He got to 21.5. Now, people will debate, did Brett give it to him? Did he not? I don't care. I think it's classy on both guys' part, and congratulations, Michael.
Michael Strahan, you know, they talked about it during the course of the game today, the quality of human being. And there are just so many in the National Football League that do so many things on and off the field. But Michael Strahan is, I think, is a challenge.
Field that is incomplete pass.
Tampa Bay is challenging it, hoping for the interception.
They think it might have bounced off the receiver's hand.
But just finishing up, Michael Strahan is just a credit not only to himself, but to the New York Giants and everybody he's in contact with. He is really a super guy.
I couldn't agree with you more, Paul, and I love Brett Favre's reaction. Does that guy really love this game and the opponents that he plays?
Now, the question is, does this bounce off of Tony Stewart's arm and hands up into the air? I believe that that's going to be an interception.
Looked like it did. It looked like his left hand was between the ball and the ground.
Never looks like it
hit the ground.
And I guarantee if Rondé Barber was in this game, he'd have picked it off. That ball never hits the ground.
Well, Abraham does pick it off.
I'm saying, but if I know Abraham gets it, but if Rondé Barber was in, it'd probably end up in his hands.
That would be the 6th interception of the year for Donnie Abraham, who lost his starting job to Brian Kelly this year and has done a great job as the 3rd defensive back. Cast your vote on ESPN.com or NFL.com and click on ETV as to whether this should be overturned or not.
It's got to be overturned. This ball never, ever even, I mean, it didn't come close to the ground.
Terrific job by our camera guys. Look at the angle. You can see it clearly in that one. Now it bounces off his right hand up into the air.
Well, the shot from the end zone shows that ball does, I mean, look at here. Look at his left arm, and look at it. His right arm's underneath it, and look at his left hand is underneath it. And here comes the ball.
That ball never got close to the ground.
Ball's not even close.
And if they rule this as an interception, the Bucs have a streak of, well, they already got one earlier from John Lynch. They have a streak of 25 straight games where they have had a sack and a turnover on defense.
All the people in Philadelphia have said no. All 2,500 of them or so.
I'm sorry, son. This is an interception. AJ, you threw your interception.
After reviewing the play, the ball never touched the ground, bounced off the receiver's hand, up into the air. Tampa Bay player intercepted the ball. The ball was dead at the 15-yard line. 1st and 10 for Tampa Bay. Please put 10:05 on the clock. Tampa Bay is not charged a timeout.
You know, and you look at Stewart. I mean, here's the guy, the interception, Tony Stewart. He's just trying to make a dive to make a catch.
And it was the first time Feely wasn't hit. He was standing back there without anybody hanging on him.
You know, you hear people whining about instant replay, and sometimes it's delay in a ball game. I get so tired of that. This is what it is for.
Get it right.
Correct plays.
Get it right.
Great point, Michael. No, seriously, you know, that's exactly what this whole thing is all about.
Oh, I agree, Paul.
To make sure you correct a mistake.
Michael, great point.
Joe and I both looked at you like that comment wasn't exactly dripping with sincerity.
It really was.
Bucks take over. Stecker will lose his footing and then buried back at the 10.
Aaron Stecker on the run.
Monday night, ESPN and ESPN2 have a full night of college basketball for you. 7 Eastern, Oklahoma and Connecticut on ESPN2. At 9 on ESPN, Providence and Texas. Then at midnight Eastern on ESPN, Gonzaga against New Mexico. That's Big Monday on both ESPN and ESPN2. Aaron Stecker in the ballgame, number 22. Stecker will get the toss. Nice cutback. And can't get past the line of scrimmage.
Now, let me ask you a question. There was a flag thrown on Tampa, right? But it was refused. So that means there are no flags against it.
Correct.
Is that correct? Well, I should let you read this because you could jinx them in a heartbeat. I mean, you could put that up. This would only be the second time in Tampa Bay history that they went flag-free. If they get finished with these next 9 minutes.
It's a penalty coming on this play.
Why do you read that with 9 minutes to go? Why don't you wait like with a minute?
Because I want to see a flag.
Third and long for Sean King. Blitz coming. Murphy with a catch near the first down sticks.
Got it.
And guess what? No flag.
Ooh, I don't know. I don't know.
What don't you know? It's a first down.
I don't know that it's not a first down. It is. Just saying, I don't know. I'm just visiting. You know, I'm just here watching.
You know what? I'm starting to really feel alone being next to you tonight.
See, I don't think he gets there.
Frank Murphy thinks so.
So does the official.
Way to go, Frank.
8:07 to go in the fourth of 8 consecutive quarters between these teams. Stecker mugged in the backfield, broke a couple of tackles, and actually gained a foot.
That's the type of defense I think we're going to see next week when these two teams play. I really believe that the Eagles will have to clog up the middle to try and contain what they want to do. And they've really become a power ball club with Mike Allstott. That's the way they're going to have to approach it and let their defensive backs go one-on-one.
Right, because Troy Vincent said it in the interview with Susie that we're not doing. I mean, it's just all your old vanilla deal. We're not doing. We're playing cover 1, which is man. We're playing cover 2.
He said that they're playing defenses, the Eagles are, that went in the second day of training camp.
He said he played those defenses in Pop Warner football.
That ball just squirts out. Stecker with the presence of mind to pick it up, then he's buried back at the 16-yard line. Thing just shot out of there.
Never quite got that one up.
Whoops. It looked like a trick play, but it wasn't.
The feeling of the quarterback. You know, you got your hands under there, you're calling signals, you're waiting for a ball, and all that. Where is it?
Todd Washington getting his chance to play.
Third and long again.
A little easier now that Sean's back in the shotgun.
4-man rush. King of the Town goes underneath to Todd Yoder. And Yoder takes it up to the 30, about 5 yards shy of the first down. Caver with another tackle. This is really good for some of these guys who haven't gotten much of an opportunity to play this year. Get to break a couple of adhesions and get ready if they're needed.
That's one guy that has his old A.J. Feely. We're going to see him in a moment. They're blooding his mouth already.
Royals to punt. high but short. Brown from the 33. Ooh.
Brown on the return.
6-yard return that right now he wishes he hadn't made. Todd Yoder, who caught the last pass, the tight end, is down to make the tackle on special teams.
Later on SportsCenter, Muhammad Ali says he's thinking about making a comeback. Michael Strahan gets a gift-wrapped record with a sack against the Pack. And Chris Berman counts down the strange, amazing top 10 plays of the week. That's SportsCenter after the Eagles and Bucks.
Which team was the best story this season? Help us vote. Log on to ESPN.com or NFL.com. And it's going to be tough between the Packers and the Patriots. Different stories, but remarkable outcomes.
But the Steelers.
Well, yeah.
13-3.
I got Cordell Stewart.
What are we missing here?
I think but New England came from nowhere.
Well, as usual, we're close to picking all 5, so we're covered.
Warren thinking about next week. Starting to get... It's going to be a short week because they'll play on Saturday.
A.J. Thiele, the rookie quarterback. Fakes the draw. Flag is down. And they stop the play.
Oh, it's against Philly. Whew. Thank you.
Prior to the snap, false start, 86, offense. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
That's Gary Scott. And boy, that took a long time to whistle that one dead. Even in a game that doesn't affect the standings or really the preparation for next week, Andy Reid is not going to be terribly happy after this, barring a miraculous comeback. Too many mistakes. Screen to Buckhalter. Buckhalter breaks the tackle, gets to midfield. Let's check in with Chris Berman.
All right, Michael, thank you. The Chicago Bears get a bye and win the NFC Norris for the first time since 1990. And one of the plays of the year, Keith Traylor rumbling, bumbling, stumbling, and setting the Bears up. Defense did it again. They allow 203 points through 16 games. The Bears beat Jacksonville 33-13. They're the 2 seed, Mike.
And Chris, he was trying to give that ball to somebody else desperately.
That's wonderful.
Way to go, Keith. Feely throws over the middle. This one is complete, and it's Freddie Mitchell.
Keith Traylor was, please somebody tackle me.
Here,
please.
who wants this? Somebody take it from me. That's wonderful. Boy, what a story. Greg Blosch, the defensive coordinator of the Chicago Bears, they got better and better as the year went on. What a terrific job he's done there.
Oh, Traylor and Washington in the middle. Teddy Washington, what a job those 2 guys have done.
Ted Washington should have been in the Pro Bowl.
And Dick Duran finally got the new contract he deserved. Buckhalter down to the 30.
Tackled by Gooch Webster.
Warren Sapp has had a chance to rest tonight, and he will be cranked up next week.
Well, he's all fun on the sidelines when really nothing is going on. And like you said, when we interviewed him, you just love to listen to this guy talk because, I mean, not only is he funny, but he's very intelligent. And the thing about it is, once he sets his foot on the field, it's all about business, and the clowning is all gone.
Got such great passion for it. 2nd and a yard, little screen to Buckhalter. Buckhalter knocked out of bounds at the 17. More on Warren Sapp. Here's Susie.
Well, Mike, we've had a good time watching Warren just have a good time on the sideline tonight. He's on his way to his 5th straight Pro Bowl, played a few series tonight, and now it's all about just sitting back and watching his team beat the Eagles, messing around with Tony Dungy's son there and just hamming it up for the cameras. Always a team leader. And he said there's a lot to be said for the psychological impact of this game, particularly for the Bucs, who lost to the Eagles in the first round last year. It said it sets the tone, builds the mental framework. You don't want to have a guy dominate you tonight and look at that film all week. It means a lot to the Bucs to take this game tonight. He's one of the team leaders who sets that tone.
Well, Susie, it's obvious that Warren Sapp loves to play football. We asked him about his love for the game.
I've always said we play a kid's game getting paid a king's ransom. How could you not love this? How could you not love 3 hours of mayhem? 3 hours of chasing a quarterback around, 3 hours of chasing a running back around. How could you not? And 80,000 people watching live. And another, 30, 40 million at home. How could you not enjoy this?
Just want to hang out with the guy. Trying to run for the first down on second and short, and they'll lose a couple. Jeff Gooch with the tackle.
Intentionally by Jeff Gooch. Third down 9.
Check it. It was 3rd and 8, or 2nd and 8 when they ran that play. Now it's 3rd and 9. John Lynch, who had a pick tonight. Eagles trying to make a game of it. Flag is down. And it looked like Ryan Shaw moved early.
He did.
Prior to the snap, false start, 67, offense. 5-yard penalty, still 3rd down.
They're still hanging on, Mike. No penalties against the Bucs.
Had one who was declined. Third and 14 for Feely. Four-man rush. Feely toward the 3-yard line. That'll be 1st and goal. A perfect strike.
He throws the ball, in my opinion. I had a chance to be out on the field with Tom Brady, watch him throw the football, the strong arm young man up in New England. This young man throws the ball a little bit like that. Gets the ball out in a hurry. Looks like it's got a lot of zip on it.
So far, he's 8 out of 11, 117 yards. Feely pump fakes. Now throws for the goal line. Touchdown! Damian Douglas with a diving catch, and Feely with the first touchdown pass of his career.
Did you see how far he threw this ball? And he was sitting there basically almost flat-footed. I mean, this shows you, this young man's going to just show you how strong his arm is. What a throw across the field.
Look, and Damian Douglas doesn't give up on it. He just keeps hustling and keeps working for his quarterback.
A very deliberate call by the official and the right one.
Well, and they're going to challenge this one. This ball might be on the ground. This one might have gotten between his arms and gotten to the ground. Yeah, I think you can see it.
Tampa Bay is challenging the ruling on the field that it's complete pass.
Remember now, it can touch the ground, but you have to have possession. Watch the ball. Right there. See it right there laying on the ground? That ball is on the ground. It gets through his hands. See it here? Can't see it from that angle. You can see it from the other one.
I'll tell you the thing that you got to really look at.
Right.
Is his right arm.
Right.
Because his left arm is under the ball, but is his right arm under the ball?
No.
I haven't seen anything right now that's significant to overturn this.
The first angle right here.
Look at his right arm, though.
I'm going to show you.
Under the ball.
No, it's not. Right? Right there. You can see the ball is on the ground. But you get to cast your vote. Log on to ESPN.com or NFL.com.
Well, on that last angle, I have to agree with you because his elbows were spread and it looked like the ball was on the ground. I don't know whether they'll rule he has possession or not. Remember, it has to be conclusive to overturn it. The fans say 68% let it stand.
Look at the thousands of fans that are voting.
I think it'll be overturned. Just my opinion, of course. I'm horrible at first down.
You're entitled.
Well, A.J. Feely is hoping it's not overturned.
I'm a very flexible person when it comes to those things.
You're right about Feely's first touchdown.
He wants that. I mean, he's got a split lip. He wants the touchdown. So does Damian Douglas, who came into this game without having caught a pass all year.
Damian Douglas dives for the catch, gets up, looks at the official and says, please.
All right, look at this shot. All I keep saying is his right arm is underneath the ball.
I don't think so. I think that ball's laying on the ground.
I know you do.
But, you know,
I'm trying to make a point for the other 38% to think it should be overturned.
You know, this is the angle that I think will tell the story of the ball laying on the ground right there.
Well, if that's the case, then it's still not even a touchdown. The question is, should the ball be on the 1-yard line if it is a touchdown?
Incomplete pass.
Well, the end zone is no question. He was in the end zone if he had possession.
I'm just throwing some other things.
Stop it.
Well, okay, here he comes. Joe, I hope you're right.
If it's a touchdown, Damian keeps the ball. If it's not, he's got to give it back.
Going to have to fight
After
Feely
reviewing
for
the
it.
play, the receiver had his hands under the ball. Ball was not moving. Ruling on the field stands. Touchdown.
All right.
Tampa Bay is charged with a timeout.
Good for you, Damian.
Paul, congratulations.
Thank you
the
very much.
17th telecast of the season.
You got one right.
During the regular season, you got one.
Thanks, guys. Thanks, boys. I really appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Good job, Paul. This is a great sell job by a wide receiver. Okay,
Please.
yes, it's a touchdown. Thank you. Yes. Thank you very much.
You got to give it to him.
Look at this.
Yes,
Hands
please,
on the ball.
please.
Yeah, yeah.
Look at his eyes. Come on. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
That's
Douglas
wonderful.
came into this game, no catches. He's made 4 for 53 yards and a touchdown. He's got the ball. Feely's going to have to fight him for it. Now Akers to make it a field goal game.
That got blocked and still went through.
We're looking at a possibility of overtime here, boys.
Yeah, we always are. So, you got someplace to go?
No, I really don't.
13-10. Now, just from a strategy standpoint, do you go for the onside kick or do you kick it deep?
Well,
go ahead.
you only have 2 timeouts, but you have the 2-minute warning, so you're going to get that too. So I'd kick it deep.
I'd go for the onside kick.
Oh, see? Now.
When was the last time you guys agreed? Was it week 3, perhaps?
Preseason.
Go for the onside kick. John Lynch, a part of the hands team. He'll have to go out.
We asked you what was the best story for a team this year. The Chicago Bears in a landslide, 49%. Boy, you really have to agree with that.
How about the interceptions that Mike Brown made, the receptions in the end zone? And it was only fitting that Keith Traylor would make that type of an interception in the last game.
You're right.
It's one of those years when you look at the Bears and you say, could they be the Cinderellas? Could they be this year's Baltimore Ravens?
I'll tell you, if the guy just stays healthy, he's going to be in the Pro Bowl all of his life. Urlacher.
Yes, sir.
Brian Urlacher is one hell of a middle linebacker.
Very happy for Jim Miller, too. Jim Miller finally gets to play for a winner, gets to start, and that's what that guy's always been.
And he finally has stayed healthy. It isn't that he hasn't had that ability, but he's now able to fight his way through. I remember talking to Elvis Gerback a few years back when he played his 13th game finally in Kansas City. He said, now I understand what it's like to be able to line up every week and work.
Williams and Abdullah are deep. And Akers does indeed kick it away. Williams on the return to the 24. Ball came out late.
Williams on the return.
I believe the Eagles have the ball.
And they do. Rashard Cook reached in and tore it out on the way down.
Trying to protect it, That ball is definitely out before his knee hits the ground.
Boy, what a great job by Rashard Cook.
Cook has made a couple of big plays tonight.
Right around the corner on SportsCenter, a rare and revealing Sunday conversation with Muhammad Ali.
The complete NFL playoff picture, a playoff in Hawaii. Number 1 goes down in college hoops. Chris Berman's top 10. All that and more. Now back to the game, guys.
All right, thanks, guys. We look forward to it. Donovan McNabb, hello.
He's either trying to stay warm or got a new step. Hey, you know what that was for? That was for the ladies. That was for the ladies, Donovan. Deuce has had to wear that harness all year on his shoulder. Curious to see if he has to wear that next week. I'm looking forward to next week. I really am.
I will when I know where we're going.
We'll do these two. It'll be great.
Philly takes over at the 24, down by 3. Feely to Scott, almost intercepted by Donnie Abraham. What a great play by the veteran corner.
But Donnie Abraham almost has this ball. Look at the effort by Donnie Abraham. He tips it up in the air and almost makes the catch on the way down. Outstanding.
Came loose only when he hit the ground. 2nd and 10. Douglas. Damian Douglas, touchdown. Holy cow, A.J. Feely has thrown 2 touchdowns to give Philadelphia the lead.
I just can't wait for the quarterback controversy next year in Philadelphia. A.J. Feely and Donovan McNabb.
Boy, he makes some good throws.
Well, this guy makes some great moves. I'm going to tell you what. When he catches this ball, Douglas, he makes some great moves.
How about these numbers? Feely's hit 10 of 14, 143 yards and 2 touchdowns. Douglas, 5 catches, 77 yards, 2 touchdowns. Neither one of them had a viable stat all year until this game. Not bad.
Seize the opportunity.
Point after is good. The spread now goes to 4.
Watch after this throw. First of all, it's a perfect throw. And then watch Douglas's move. Here's one. Back to the inside. Howell misses. And watch him stretch for the touchdown. That's beautiful.
Boy, you're right, Joe. When the opportunity comes, you've got to deliver.
There he is down on the bottom. That's Donnie Abraham he's up against. Howell can't catch him. Gooch can't catch him. Wonderful job. Wonderful job of getting in the end zone.
That's Deuce Staley, Donovan McNabb.
Cecil Martin, Jamie Reeder.
If Philadelphia can win this game, they would finish 11-5. The Bucs would fall to 9-6, denying them a 3rd straight 10-win season. They have 146 left, or 9-7. They have 146 left, and now they'll need a touchdown.
The Feely, he's telling everybody how he did it, and everybody's listening.
As I've been telling you all year long, you finally let me play in the 4th quarter of the last game.
Remember about 3 minutes ago how happy the Tampa Bay Bucs were? Everything was good. Okay, we're riding high. Now what they're thinking is, let's just get this thing over with and get on to next week.
2 touchdowns in 26 seconds.
The only thing that both teams, but Tampa Bay especially, wanted that positive momentum going into Philadelphia because they know it's going to be cold and it's going to be loud.
I don't think it matters. I just don't think it matters. The momentum is stopped. It stopped when they played this game.
Abdullah and Murphy are deep. Murphy from the 4. To the 26. Stay tuned for Sports Center. Dan Patrick and Stuart Scott coming up. Muhammad Ali, Chris Berman's plays of the week. And a little college basketball for you as #1 falls for the first time.
See Muhammad Ali hit that speed bank still?
He's amazing.
He really is. What an icon. There's a guy who's had a night and another one. Cut lip. Couple of touchdown passes.
You don't even feel that cut lip.
Sean King with a big job in front of him. 4-man rush, throws behind Yoder. since 1970, for teams that did not allow more than 21 points in a game, 10-5 for the season for Philadelphia. They have not allowed 21 points. It's remarkable. King goes out to Williams, and Williams did not get out of bounds. That record would go to 11-5 if they win tonight. Tampa Bay with 2 timeouts left. Stecker trying to get the first down and has it. Using a lot of time here.
And Tampa Bay has 2 timeouts. Sean King has his timeouts. I think he'll want to try and cost a 50, and then he'll use one.
King trying to scramble, throws on the run. Yoder catches it in bounds at the 41.
That's a nice job by Ike Reese to keep him in bounds.
And they use the first of their 2 timeouts with 38 seconds left. Joe, those are the kind of plays when you see a quarterback scrambling and time is running out, you just wonder if it isn't better to throw the ball out of bounds incomplete than complete it for 2 or 3 yards in bounds.
Oh, it is. I think once you get into a 2-minute mentality, the first thing that has to be on your mind is the clock. And Paul has mentioned this time and time again. You just want to pick up first downs. That's all you want to do is create an opportunity to get yourself some first downs. Usually in a situation like this, though, you're going to have to get some chunks. You're going to need an 18-yarder or a 15-yarder. So you may have to scramble around. If you don't have the big play as you scramble, then throw it out of bounds. But if you can force one down the field, you got to try and pick up the big chunks.
I think all of us remember the conversation with Brett Favre so well, where he said, just move the chains. That's all you have to do.
The clock to him has nothing to do with it.
Oh, I don't agree with that.
I know you don't. You never do.
King scrambles again. Completed to 41, but in bounds.
Well, but that's the point that Joe's making. See, if you're going to throw it, get it downfield. Move the chain.
That's where you can use up the time. You can use up some of the time. And Sean King does a nice job of scrambling around. This is a good job of coming back to the ball. Milton Wynn, again, going up, making the play.
18 yards. And they'll spot the ball at the 40. The Bucs now out of timeout. Milton Wynn, another one of those guys that came into this game with no stats. He has 4 catches, 70 yards. And Sean King has played pretty well.
I'll tell you one thing about this stadium. They've got the greatest music selections I've ever heard.
They got them all.
Oh, from Frank Sinatra to
YMCA.
Yeah, what?
YMCA.
What's the name of the song?
Yeah.
What's the group?
The Village
People.
See, why did you tell him? He did that.
Oh, he knew.
He knew the group YMCA.
He used to be in the Village
No,
People.
I was telling you this. Wow. I'm getting it from both sides tonight.
Blitz coming. King floats this one to the sideline, incomplete, threw it away to stop the clock.
See, that's only used 8 seconds. That's good.
Problem was he was still in the pocket.
That was intentional grounding. They finally got a penalty.
There's the flag.
It's intentional grounding. You're absolutely right. He was never out of the pocket. With 20 seconds left to go.
There goes the penalty-free game.
Yep.
See, you jinxed him after all, Paul.
Look at this. He's not out of the pocket, and he throws the ball away. There is no receiver down there.
That's a rule I think they ought to visit. I think they ought to give quarterbacks the opportunity. You're penalized enough because you lose the down. And I think it's a way to protect. If you're concerned about the health of quarterbacks, I think it's a good way to protect those guys that don't have the athletic ability to escape.
The old quarterback theory again.
Yep.
Protect the punter more.
Intentional grounding, number 10, offense, 10 yards, loss of down. Inside of 1 minute, it also is a 10-second runoff. Please reset the clock to 10 seconds.
And
Boy,
it's
I'll
about
tell you,
as
this
harsh a
is
penalty as you
really
can find.
That's it.
Now you can visit it.
That's it.
I mean, this is really a tough penalty.
I know.
The only thing that wasn't in there, and your family has to leave home.
I mean, that is really a tough penalty.
So they run 10 seconds off the clock. That leaves 10. It's 2nd and 20. And now you've just got to go for the end zone or the deep sideline.
Now you have to buy some time running around, throw it as far as you can. There's the running around.
You better score.
Here comes the as far as you can. That's going to be close to the goal line.
Incomplete. It dropped at the feet of Carl Williams. It's over. The Eagles, who trailed most of this game 13-3, come back to win. For our entire ESPN crew, this is Mike Patrick. Good night from Raymond James Stadium in Tampa Bay. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports.
ESPN thanks you for watching this presentation of the National Football League.